What's good? Happy hump day. It's Wednesday. The Onora boys are in the building. Welcome to the Lucky Lefty podcast. My name is Shaun Davis, that dude, the original Lucky Lefty himself, Malik Zaire. We are brought to you by Onora Whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. It is that premium American whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. And if you drink, by all means, make sure that you do so.
Responsibly.
You have to do it responsibly. And today is a great show because we're talking the art of the apparel deal. We're going to get into it, man. Like three finalists have been named by Jack Swarbrick. And we're going to talk about the pros, the cons, the marketing aspect, who brings the best to the table, marketing. And we're going to talk about, the brand of Notre Dame and how it connects. And Jack Swarbrick said some interesting things that might make Notre Dame fans feel like nothing's going to change. But, as we said before, he might be opening the door to Notre Dame's new future with the apparel deal. So we'll dig into it. But last night's show, fantastic show. You guys jumped on. Numbers were crazy. Chat was lit before we even started the show. Left, unfortunately, had practice and wasn't able to jump in time. But we gave you guys 1 hour talking about Marcus Freeman's interview on the pivot. We gave you five major takeaways. Five major takeaways. That is available right now on Irish Breakdown. It just popped up on the Irish Breakdown feed. It was exclusive to CFB Nation all last night. And that's how we're going to roll in the future. Things are going to be exclusive on CFB Nation via Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can grab it there. It might populate to Irish Breakdown days later or something like that, so you'll be behind. But if you want it hot off the press, especially practice reports in the fall, game reports, some of the stuff that Malik is going to be doing with film breakdown with the quarterbacks, especially with Gino Gaduli and the young quarterbacks we have coming into the roster that are going to be exclusive not only to CFB Nation, but also, man, I'm excited. Left, I was chopping it up with our girl last night, and our web tech, she sent me the link to do a clean run through and check out, man, the sight lines, the color, everything, man, is coming along. Now it's all about adding merch, pictures, and other things that we want, links to the YouTube feed. So, man, I appreciate Rachel Robbins. Shout out to her for all the work she's been doing for us. Finally got the preview link and well, the second preview link, plus some things that we asked to be changed, and we're extremely happy about that, man. Lucky Lefty Nation and Notre Dame fans have been extremely, extremely good to us. Left, we continue to build subscribers, adding each and every day. Like we say, your questions, we're always welcoming them. And we want you to lock in because we give you the audio edible each and every day. And even with Jack Swarbrick work going out in 6 months, we are still going to be the home of the misguided passion. It's the Lucky Lefty podcast. You already know we spin it different. Well, Left, this is where I love shows like this. See, I love shows where I can just pretty much go radio silence for the first 10 minutes and just say, hey, Left has something to say. And I gave a full hour of my thoughts on what Marcus Freeman said during the pivot interview and the importance of the pivot interview. And once again, look, at some point, maybe I know he's busy. At some point this summer, we are hopeful that Amir Carlisle can give us 5 to 10 minutes, especially now, because I just really want to go into the mindset and the vision, because we're starting to see like the infancy stages of the vision he has in his position at Notre Dame for where he wants to take the brand and the football program, and just dig into it and ask him about what the present and the future holds for Notre Dame. So hopefully we can make that happen. But Marcus Freeman was on the pivot. It was about 58 minutes. Great interview between him, Ryan Clark, Channing Crowder, and Fred Taylor. And Left, what were your lasting thoughts from what you saw?
One of the cool things I thought that it stood out is his acknowledgement that bringing the pivot to Notre Dame he could use for recruiting. He's like, oh, the pivot came to Notre Dame. They interviewed Marcus Freeman. That's cool. That's updating the perspective. He has a understanding of what Notre Dame looks like in the light of the recruit, as well as what he can do maybe around the bigger issues to make Notre Dame look a lot cooler in the light of recruiting. And the pivot is a great opportunity for him to. It's like him going on the Breakfast Club
Mm-hmm.
as a new artist and as a head coach being young and having the knowledge of the pivot. You know, I'm sure Brian Kelly didn't know what the pivot was. You know, so for him to be like, oh, let me set this up or be a part of this, I think it's a great extension to what the position of the Notre Dame head coach is and all the luxuries you get with that. I mean, he was just shooting a commercial with Peyton and Eli Manning, and they didn't even go to Notre Dame. What do you know? So,
Mm-hmm.
for Marcus Freeman to be on this press tour, I think is still great for recruitment, and it shows why he is putting himself in a great light. And you know, they asked him great questions from everything from being one of the two only coaches to be doing this and that, and what's the expectations and the vision are of what you're bringing, and personal questions. And you know, I forgot that he had got medically examined out of the NFL, and I was like, 'cause I was trying to remember what happened. But his bounce back into football and what it means to him, you know, he definitely they mentioned Wayne High School, you know, shout out to Wayne High School, Dayton, Ohio.
Yeah.
But Marcus Freeman, man, you know, I think it's just pretty cool to see, and it also shows why he is right now the leader of the team and the face of the program. And you know, that's rare. Not too many sports brands have the head coach as their face of the program, and I think the players eat off of that. They thrive off of that, and we'll get to see a more lively Marcus Freeman on the sidelines this year because of that. But we still need to have the Marcus Freeman on the team from a leader's perspective that they can rally behind and give the same results on the field like we're getting off the field with Marcus Freeman's efforts. But for him to do the pivot and take everybody through it and show how important it is of his position being there, of why it's so different at Notre Dame, and walking through the locker room and seeing all these guys, you know, Ryan Clark and Channing Crowder, Fred Taylor had high respect for Notre Dame. They just never got a chance to be there.
Mm.
So seeing that, they're like, wow, it's really like that for real. It's got a lot of bells and whistles and history and tradition that, you know, as a football player and as a student in general, you would want to be a part of. And I think they got to see that, and it's get to be blown up in a cooler way on YouTube.
I think the best part is shout out to the editing team from the pivot because they record these interviews, and it's one thing to just sit down and just show what was recorded, but it's one thing to know how to intro, how to lead into the interview. And they do a great job usually with the clip they choose or the clips they choose to lead into those particular interviews. But man, let me tell you something. The walk down the stairs and to have Fred Taylor point out, hey man, do you see what you see? And no sponsors. Like this is all tradition. No, that's all you see.
Yeah,
And then to have Marcus Freeman really break it down for him. The strike, because I knew the angles to the stripes in the end zone. I knew the history of that and how it related to the year that Notre Dame was founded. I knew all of that from just being a fan and everything. But for them to receive that and for them to say, yo, that's special. Like, yo, that's special. Like,
Yeah, when you don't see Pepsi and Gatorade labeled on all your stuff in the locker room,
No,
it's just a locker room.
no.
You would think it's a movie set or something.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
you like, some got to be paying for this. What big corporation is paying for this? No, it's just the brand. It's the logo. It's the investment.
yeah.
The tradition. It still looks like what people, how
Let
we.
me ask you a question, Left, because this hit me, and I've never. This is something we've had a lot of discussions. What do you feel in that locker room, Left? Because for Fred Taylor to come in and say, "Yo, this is crazy," because I just met Rudy 2 weeks ago in Jacksonville, the real Rudy, and it's like I come in and I'm like, "Yo, this is the same locker room that Rudy sat in. It is the same original locker room. Of course, they expanded it a little bit, added some bells and whistles. But knowing all of the greatness that came before you, like, did you ever have a moment just sitting there, like after a practice or after a game, or even just leading up to a game and just say, man, like you just feel the presence of the tradition and the responsibility and like what was that like, man? Did you ever have one of those moments? I can only imagine.
Yeah, I mean, it was times after practice when we were practicing in the stadium or practice where I would just be on the field and just kind of feeling it out, taking it in. You got to take those experiences in at the same time. But, you're there for a short and a long time as well. So you don't really get to, because everything's moving so fast. You're on a schedule, you're on a routine, you're trying to win. You got to thinking about the league, especially if you're playing well. You like, man, I'm trying, stay right, get out of here the right way. So it's so many different factors that are quote unquote distractions when it comes to taking in the full experience that when the end of it is, you're like, oh shit, I did that. Oh man, I got to walk all this. I remember doing all of it, but my mind was somewhere else. So you're definitely on an autopilot when it comes to what it feels like being there. As a fan, as a person that's an alumni now, former player, I can feel those experiences again and remember what it was like being there. But when I was there, your mind's on, your classes, you got homework, you got remember the plays, you trying to win, you trying to go to the league, you trying to get an internship, what are you gonna do after college? So just so many different things in the present moment that you're thinking about
Mm-hmm.
where you don't get a chance to be like, wow, I'm at Notre Dame and look at all this stuff around here and all the tradition. Now, when you're done, I think that's where a lot of the love for Notre Dame comes from is when you come back, when there's no expectations of you got to have a GPA, you got to get these classes, you got to get these internships, you got to meet these, you got to do all this stuff to get to the next level. You can come back as just an enjoyment factor. You're like, wow, the campus is so beautiful, the grotto, the basilica, the buildings are so nice. Oh, I want to go to the bookstore. But when you're a student, you walk past the bookstore every day, like, damn, this is just in the way of me getting into something. This is a long walk. Shit. I gotta
Right.
get to the door. I gotta get all the way around. So you definitely become more of a fan once you're done and more appreciative and grateful once you're done. But when you're in it, it's hectic. It's a routine. You busy, and you grateful when it's over almost. But you happy that you went, and it's so much more that you fall in love with it because you be like, man, I went through a lot to get to the finish line. Now I can receive all the extracurricular benefits and activities when I come back on a visit or they always updating the campus. It's just great. I have no problem donating because I'm seeing the results of it always upgrade. So it's a pretty well functioning system. But yeah, now I'm just like, wow, it's just crazy to see other people that didn't get a chance to go there for the first time be like, wow. And now I get to reflect on 4 or 5 years of it. I'm like, yeah, it was awesome. But when you're there, you trying to get right.
I understand, man. I in the midst of that conversation, I just had to ask, man, because I can remember the first time I actually went to the stadium when the new coaching staff was revealed. and I had to go because B Driss couldn't go to record and interview guys. And I'm standing there, and I get there extra early, and I'm sitting outside, um, waiting for them to open the interview room, and I'm looking down, bro. I'm looking down the tunnel, the walk. I'm standing there at the gate, and the security guard sees me. He sees me. He's like, "Go ahead and walk." I'm like, "Are you serious?" He was like, "Yeah, go take the walk." Bro, I'm like, man, bro, I'm in my 40s, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm a grown man. But I'm like feeling like, yo, because I know I'm like, yo, this is the tunnel when Miami and Notre Dame got it in.
Yeah.
You understand? This is where Florida State and Notre Dame got it in pregame. This is where USC and Notre Dame got it in. I'm walking down this tunnel like, yo, this is bananas. And I'm
See, but
taking it
that's the
all
thing.
in.
It's such a detachment from then to now. That's like 30 years ago.
Right, right.
And it's because you don't get those moments like you did then. It's like all the greatest moments from Notre Dame history seem to be that 1 year of Lou Holtz or something, because everybody has a crazy reflective story of something that is not happening today.
Yeah.
Like they even moved the tunnel to the other side.
Right. And I remember when they did that visitor tunnel. I'm like, you're taking away from the texture of the
Right.
stadium, man. Like, yo, you have to be able to have Notre Dame have a sense of intimidation in the tunnel, man. Or a sense of, yo, we're gonna punch you in the mouth in the tunnel before these big games. You can't take that away. And I
Yeah,
understand.
they just get too corporate, They get
Yeah,
boxes and the jumbotron and
man. I'm like, man, brick that bad fella up
yeah,
before Ohio State gets hit. Make Ohio State come through us.
yeah,
Let them know, oh, we punching you in the mouth today. It's on and popping. That's what it has to be. I want to trash talk going up the tunnel pregame. That's what let's get it. Let's get it. What? Let's do it. This is Notre Dame Stadium. You don't come in here and run this.
that's
We
right.
run this. That's
Right.
That's competition, man. That's competition. And that was something that Notre Dame had. Just like, and it's something until recently we saw what happened last year. Michigan had that same vibe. Yeah, hey, both teams, one tunnel, halftime, everything, trash talking, whatever. We didn't know Michigan State would be the sore losers that they were and take it to the next level, but it is what it is, man. Just the character. Like you take away, you can do so much to improve that you can take away from the character of your home stadium. And Notre Dame still has a ton of character as a stadium, a ton of
Yeah,
character.
that's got a ton of character. They build on top of the old stadium, but still, it's like there needs to be that competitive vibe. That owning of the stadium as the team. I think Marcus Freeman can instill that into those guys of being more of the "this is our house." It was a quiet version of that with Coach Kelly because we was pretty good at home.
Yeah,
We only lost maybe 1 or 2 games at home, but it wasn't like this is our house. It was just like, yeah, we're good at home. Like,
yeah,
you don't really lose. But having that, you coming in here, the intimidation factor, top 10 places to play, that type of thing going. That's what spurs a team to have the energy in late in the season.
yeah.
And everybody's hyping the early beginning, fans and all that. Late in the season, if you can be a tough place to play, that's usually because the team itself is having enough galvanizing energy of being competitive with the team that's coming in town, and because they really take it personal. Don't come in here, Ohio State, thinking this is sweet. We harassing you off the bus.
Mm-hmm.
Off the bus, you gotta walk around. It's just hard to do stuff. You gotta walk all the way down, and then you gotta come around because you can't. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Right.
Pregame Notre Dame, a lot of stuff going on. Make it tough. Make it hard. It's like,
man, hey, look, we go down to Miami.
I had the band in there. I got fans on all these famous people from Notre Dame in my way. I'm trying to warm up. Then we can't get to the tunnel. We got to go up the main tunnel. Notre Dame trash talking to, just make it hard, harass them.
Absolutely.
It's just a lot going on anyway from the fanciness and Notre Dame, all these big ass TV, NBC cameras and stuff. Make it tough. That all adds into it, so it's just about what do we want to give as that intimidation factor, I think, going into next year. And we have a head coach that can provide that. He's a little too likable for me nowadays. I mean, he's becoming Tom Cruise in the media. He's on everything. He's on every freaking thing. He's a likable dude. I would like him to be a little less likable. Like, Ryan Day is not.
I don't think he's as likable in inside the program. I'll leave it at that. He's very likable.
Well, there's always
he's very likable when it comes to the media. His looks, the way he portrays himself. He advances the brand culturally, in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
he advances the brand.
But it's always the people inside that don't like you. It's always the hidden hand, different functions that working against you and making the job hard at Notre Dame. And a lot of that is like because they don't want you. They don't want anybody to be the face of the team itself. They don't want anybody to be doing that. So Marcus Freeman is as well liked as he is. Production has to match that, which I think is going to be apparent this year coming up and moving forward. But hopefully Pete Bavacqua is really on his side and can help facilitate some of those functions that happen that work against Marcus Freeman in his pursuit to winning what I believe that most people want, maybe not the best or the highest of the highest people may want first, but I think having a synergy of winning a championship and allowing some of those things to pass through, I think you get everything you want. Like we always say, Notre Dame chooses not to win a championship. It's way different than trying to win one, way different than we are missing a couple things. We really have it, but we're just being very good steward with the way we go about trying to achieve what we can achieve easily if we just put our money where our mouth is. I think that's something that is always a battle, I think, between administration and the coaching staff and the sports teams that need a little more resources like girl basketball. We are always competitive. With Muffin McGraw in those years, even with Yale Ivy and Coach Ivy in these years, they're very competitive. But there's also a resource issue that shouldn't be a problem for a school like Notre Dame, but it's a problem for women's basketball team. It's a problem for the men's football team where we can't get certain things done to get the right staff that we know we can win with. That's a choice. It's different if we couldn't get anybody to show up for an interview. It'd be different if we couldn't, put nobody on campus or they have all these bad remarks about Notre Dame after leaving the interview. This is simple choice of we just don't want to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
And that's a choice not to win a championship. That's not we got these things in front of us. We're just choosing not to. And I think until we choose and decide we want to win, and that'd be our first priority.
But Marcus Freeman said they always ask for a national championship every year. They ask us for a national championship. He said that in the pivot interview. He said every year.
Yeah. Of course they. Of course
it's like national championship. That's all they want.
Just like we said that. Andy just didn't want to come. Just because we wanted him, he just didn't come because I don't know. He just didn't want to come,
right?
But the real reason we didn't want to pay him, just like it's like Marcus Freeman. Yeah, we hire you to win, but win with one hand behind your back. See if you can do that. Yeah, we want you to win, but just with one hand behind your back. So you're going to win the way we want you to win. But we want you to do it just the way we want you to do it, just doing it for us. So you're going to have the coaches we want you to have.
Mm.
You're going to have these machines behind you that's working for us against you, but you need to figure out how to work it out. And if there's things you want, bring it to us, and we may or may not do it. But I still need you to win. And if you don't win, or if we mess up, you got to take it for us. And if you get something under 9 wins for 2 consecutive seasons, you know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But every year you expected to win with all these stipulations. Because we're choosing not to win. We just want everybody else to think we win it. But if you can pull it off, that's the best of both worlds. Because now our model is proven true. You can make money and win a championship and not sacrifice the brand for it. With good stewardship and divine intervention and inspiration.
That goes to, let me just throw some of the things I said yesterday at you and see how you feel. And I said this in the midst of most outlets that cover Notre Dame having their one-on-one interviews with Marcus Freeman over the next 2 weeks. So there are going to be tons of stories from those outlets coming out with great information, great insight on the team. None of those outlets had the ability to do what this interview did for Marcus Freeman in Notre Dame.
Right.
There was no one that can give Notre Dame this look that covers Notre Dame. And I said that might offend some people that have been working the beat for a long time, and maybe they just don't understand it in terms of 2023, the culture impacting young people and how they consume information and how they view what they see. Man, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, this is more culturally progressive doing something like the pivot because it's on YouTube and people are catching it. Mainstream media is obviously going to be there, but it's not the attractive pull when you got Ryan Clark and Channing Crowder and Fred Taylor interviewing you, and you can put the content out ASAP. You know, these publications, mass media is going to splice up the interview, cut it short, give you, half of what you really could get from the real questions that you're going to get from the interview with the pivot.
That's 100. Something else that stood out when he said after the Stanford loss, I had players and people texting me to trust the process. And he said, skip that. We just lost to Stanford. It's time to fix the process. I was like, you know what? Because it's real easy to sit there and wait and trust the process. And I said the greatest thing, and I think he pointed it out, he has an ability to recognize when it's time to make change. Like in the middle of his career, his first year, he calls Jim Tressel because he recognizes, you know what? It might be time for me to transition to coaching. And he was still getting calls from teams in the NFL. Most people would say, man, I want to see how long I can play out this NFL dream. He's in the middle of it saying, you know what? It might be time for me to go ahead and make this switch and fix this. And the same characteristics in his leadership showed up during his first season at Notre Dame, where he was like, you know what? I know I had a thought process of how I wanted things to go. That's not working. We got to change. Like I pointed out, he didn't decide that Sam Hartman was in need at the end of the season. He decided that in the middle of the season. Like this quarterback room is not it.
Yeah, no, but he probably knew that before he even got the head coaching job, being on the other side.
I don't know, man, because you fall into, the history and winning 10 games and players feeling like they know what to do. They've been to college football playoffs and you let the players kind of lead the way. and you feel like you can do it, and then
Marcus Freeman from Dayton, man. He know what talent look like.
yeah,
What
but see,
talent don't look like.
Marcus Freeman has a different perspective than Brian Kelly. See,
Yes, I
Brian
agree with
Kelly
that.
was just like, man, look,
If we can get through, we can get through. You know,
absolutely. You
that's
said something
why
that
we
was
would
powerful.
wear out. We would have 3 running backs and only use one and just wear him out and then use next. He was like, look, we can
Yeah,
get through with just using one. We good. We all the other. We need one receiver. We just use Will. Or we just use TJ Jones. We don't need all these other Eifert. We'll just go to them until they
yeah.
stop it. And then when
Hmm.
they stop it, we'll figure it out. Marcus Freeman's like, look, we got guys. Because Marcus Freeman played. So he knows as a player, you want all your guys get the ball, get some love, whatever. So bringing a guy like Jared Parker and being able to try to display that, of course you're going to need a Sam Hartman. Of course you're going to need a running game. Of course you're going to need better receivers and a more open offense. So these are things that I'm sure he was seeing become issues as a defense coordinator, assistant coach. And I think that once, just like Jared Parker got the opportunity, he instantly knew all the things he wanted to fix.
Man.
He came in and said, yeah, we're not going to look like that. We're going to do this. We're going to do this better. Yeah, some guys didn't like it last year. We're going to do this. We're going to. So, I think that just comes with thinking for yourself and knowing who you are as a person and what works and being aggressive on not letting the problem linger. And so one of the problems that lingered, there wasn't enough talent in the QB room. And after that loss, Marcus Freeman was like, look, we got to go get better. Period. I'm not waiting on anything because they're not waiting on me.
Look, it's one of those things where I tried to explain as best as I could without you yesterday why, from a culture standpoint, this advanced and do I man, if I could have tipped my cap to Amir Carlisle every 5 minutes, I'm like, yo, this happened because Amir Carlisle was put in the position of director of player personnel. And this is why this happened. And they mentioned it towards the end of the interview. They gave a shout out to Amir. They also gave out to Mark a shout out to Katie Lornigan, Marcus Freeman's personal assistant. Hey, or whatever. I forget it. She has an official title. She's not his assistant. There's another young lady that's his assistant. But either way, because I didn't want to be disrespectful. Amir Carlisle, you made it happen, bro. You gave Notre Dame the look that was needed to move forward. And I believe it's a look that is in line with what Pete Mavakwa wants and views Notre Dame as, and what Marcus Freeman views Notre Dame as. And you're darn right, Marcus Freeman used 58 minutes to recruit the stars, the 5 stars in Notre Dame, which I want to get to. The realest thing, you're on mute, bro.
Yeah, you're not going to see Saban or Dabo on the pivot. He's doing different things. It's like, yeah, Marcus Freeman is cool, but what does he do that's cool? Well, he got on the pivot. That's something Saban ain't doing. That's something Dabo not doing or don't got a chance to do. Because it don't fit culturally for Saban and Dabo and Ryan Day. It don't fit for Jimbo Fisher.
Yeah.
But for Marcus Freeman, okay, yeah, I wanna tune in. What Marcus Freeman talking about at Notre Dame? I don't know nothing about that.
Yeah.
We're gonna get the right eyes viewing that because that's cool. Notre Dame was on the pivot. I didn't see no Ohio State, no Clemson, no. Okay, that's kind of cool. LSU got air conditioned helmets. I mean, if I had to take one or the other, I'm taking a pivot. But I think this is just finding ways. Amir, shout out my dog Amir. He said he was going to be different as the player development director, and I think he's taking steps. This is one of the many that I think he's trying to make, but he knows where he's young enough and knows enough, been around the game enough to know where guys want to see as recruits and what guys want to see as future program investors into the program and what it takes. And that's just great research, and that's like running a perfect play. Just scored a touchdown on that.
Lucky Lefty podcast, man. Anything else? Oh, I have to. The back and forth between Channing and Crowder. I love the way Channing. See, this is why the look was needed. Channing, a lot of people that cover Notre Dame could have asked this question a different way. But Channing Crowder needed to ask it as only Channing Crowder can. Coach, hey man, I love everything here, but I wasn't coming here. I ain't coming here. This ain't for me. I would keep it a buck. You would have come to see me, coach. I'd have been in the lunchroom surrounded by girls in my tank top and probably had just stolen somebody's lunch. And would have told you, like, hey man, I got 3 years and I'm out to the NFL. And don't talk to me about no classes, nothing. And that was real. That was real. And he said, so you mean to tell me you willing to pass up 5-star Heisman candidates on the recruiting trail because they don't fit Notre Dame? It needed to be put that way. It needed to be put that way so it can be relatable to young people that are watching. And Marcus Freeman answered it as gangster as he could. As gangster as he could. Say, yeah, because I'll be hurting that kid. I don't want to mess up his future because he's not going to work here. Because if you come here, you definitely go into class. They don't play with that. There is no bend in that. You go into class. He said, but the kids out there at 5 stars that don't think that they fit Notre Dame, but they really do, I'm going to get them. And he said he would still fight for the 5-star kid that eventually wouldn't come to Notre Dame. He said, I'm fighting either way. I'm in the fight either way. That right there, I was like, okay. That's the message that needs to go out. Because that's the question that the parents of these kids have, and that's the question that these kids have in the classes of 25, 26, and they got it straight from the horse's mouth or the coach's mouth, that is Marcus Freeman.
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty gangster. Well, pretty honest. I think that a perfect example of this would be Justin Scott. A guy.
Do you think he wasn't talking to Justin Scott, who just came off his Miami interview? Wait. Yeah. Do you think Notre Dame strategically didn't have them drop that days after Justin Scott just got back from? Oh, come on, bro. Come on. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, I think it definitely is timed out right. We like to play chess in the recruiting game. I think this is a great opportunity because now Marcus Freeman is trying to put himself in the cool factor, that real coach, that raw factor, like Deion Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
Deion is in a league of his own because it's like, man, that's prime. He's cool. I just play for him because it's Deion Sanders. And it works for him. Marcus Freeman is more in the lane of that than he is in the lane of Nick Saban. I've got a dynasty, hardcore. And I think that's what Marcus Freeman wanted to be like initially, which is probably when he had to call and be like, look, I got to be me and build this in a different way, but get the same results. And that's where you see things like the pivot. That's where you're going to see a more comfortable Marcus Freeman the next year.
I see somebody in the chat say, did Justin Scott see it? If it was an Irish Illustrated, he probably didn't. Justin Scott, Cam Williams saw it. I talked to Cam Williams. He was like, oh, yeah, we got clips days before it even dropped. And I was sending clips out to everybody. And Cam Williams and Justin Scott are best friends. So yes, Justin Scott is aware of it and saw it. Because it's culture. It's what he and his friends watch. That's what they're subscribed to each and every week when it drops. Yeah, of course he saw it. Of course he did. That's why it's the look that Notre Dame needed. Because it was content of Notre Dame where the young people go to get their content for sports, which is the pivot. It is what it is with Cameron and Mace, as it has, and that people, they're not professional journalists. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it don't matter. It's about
Doesn't matter. That's where young people go to consume information. If we can get Marcus Freeman on this, it is what it is. Put him on it is what it is. I don't know what they would talk to him about. But
yeah, I don't know what they would talk to him about.
I don't know what they would talk to him about, but hey.
Let's talk about something.
It is what it is, bro. It's like I'm subscribed to the pivot. I am. Because I'm like, yo, this is where people go to get their information. So I think that was it. I think that Channing Crowder thing for me was
the interview that we needed.
Yeah. Oh, another point. He talked about protecting the life of a college coach. As you progress through the coaching ranks, is that something that you loved hearing from Marcus Freeman, specifically requesting that from the president of Notre Dame moving forward for his coaching staff?
I'm sorry.
He said we need to do better at protecting the life of a college coach, making them feel like they will want to stay at Notre Dame. He said we're going to lose good coaches, but we can't just be getting coaches in and they're ready to just bounce because they're not being treated the best that they can be treated.
Well, that's always going to be an issue because we're not paying nobody top dollar. Come on now. Notre Dame's a great stepping stone place. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
You're not going to get $100 million there, but you're going to get $100 million after you leave.
Yeah.
You'll get it. You might not get the head coaching job there, but you're going to get a head coaching job after you leave.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
Yeah.
But I mean, unless they like, Marcus Freeman on a personal level, that's your dog. Like Coach Mick, but shoot. They're gonna be calling his phone after this year. They see Ben Morrison go first round. What are you gonna say?
Yeah.
Like, man, go ahead and get this DC job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now what?
And shout out to
if anything, Marcus Freeman should be like, look, protecting the life of our coaches by paying them that bread.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that,
yeah,
this is too sweet of a deal not to get a better deal after this.
Facts.
Mike McCray, my dog, grew up with him. Went to Michigan for 4 years.
Mike McCray. Mike McCray was a good dude. Mike McCray, that was a good player. Yeah.
Guess what? Came to Notre Dame for 2 years. Right after that, got a whole position coach at UMass. Because of Notre, I mean, come on. So it's real interesting and important that Marcus Freeman also knows that coaches gonna come and go. Coach Kelly had a ton of that, but at the end of the day, what did he end up doing? Just hiring all his friends. He said, "I'm tired of this coaching search. I'm gonna call all my homies, and y'all just come coaching, so I don't have to really do that much of an interview process. And then because I hired y'all gonna get hired somewhere else way bigger than this. Come play for your boy. That's the way you gotta, that's the perspective you gotta have about it. I'm gonna put you on because you're my homeboy. And because this place is so sweet and we're gonna be all right, you're gonna get a better job after this. But I can't have no restrictions for you to be here unless, like Coach Kelly was telling them, look, I get you 50 mil, you slide with me to LSU. 50, get you 10 mil, slide, Coach Cooks. But if you got 10 mil as the DC, or that's obviously ridiculous. But if you got a good amount, better than what we get now, but something worth staying, it's going to be a money issue when it comes to coaches. Nothing else. Even Todd Monken was like, listen, I'm here to win. And if a better opportunity comes, I'm going. Played great for Georgia, had 6 touchdowns and by the quarterback. And left the year after. Come on, now, it's about bread. Yeah, we family. Bread coming on.
You're gonna love hearing this, Love. I've read multiple stories out of the Baltimore area where Lamar Jackson is loving what Todd Monken has cooked up for him, bro.
Yeah.
Loves it. Like that dude is like re-energized. Like, oh, okay. We're about to cook.
And they got OBJ and all type of receivers. They're gonna be all right.
Yeah, man. Lucky left.
What's up with your boy Chase Claypool getting the bad reviews out of camp?
Man, Chase is so cool and has been locked in with the receiving core and has been locked in with Justin Fields publicly. They've been moving as a unit. So I don't know where this reporting is coming from, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I know where it started. The report came from a afternoon host at ESPN 1000 who was at camp and was talking to some people, I guess, around the team and decided to bring it back and say it. That's how it got started. Then
I'll be knowing.
So that's how it got started.
SD2
because ESPN 1000 just became.
How do you know that?
No, ESPN 1000, bro. I just left, so I still have connections.
Oh,
there.
Okay.
My guy Pat, Pat the designer, who's one of my guys. He is the host of the podcast, the daily podcast there at ESPN 1000. That's my guy. I just talked to him yesterday. Yeah. I didn't get that information from him, but I was a producer.
Yeah, you know, sources say.
I still talk to the producers, all right? And he decided to come back and release that information. He didn't have to. He also released some information about Justin Fields was struggling and all of that. And then Justin Fields lights it up like 4 straight days in front of the media. And all of a sudden, he's like, oh, well, I'm just going by what I saw the first day. So you know how people try to jump out there.
Yeah, they
try to jump out there. He jumped out there. He jumped out there with the Claypool stuff.
But isn't that the game though? You know,
it is what it is, man. He's doing what he has to do. I'm just saying that's what happened.
Don't play like that. That's all.
That's what happened. And with ESPN 1000 now being the home of the Chicago Bears, I guess he felt like he had the license to do it. Right? Because now he's talking to people inside. And maybe Claypool came over and didn't exactly ingratiate himself to the program
you gotta
and everything.
Politic with some of the media people. You got to politic a little bit.
Yeah. And that's fine. But as far as how he rocks with, he's always out in public. It's always him, EQ, and DJ Moore. Everywhere in Chicago. They're always together. So it's not like he's like aloof and apart from the group, right? And Justin is right there with them, moving with them. So they're constantly seen around Chicago together. They get their hair cut together. It's like, yo, the story is saying one thing, but they're moving totally different. So now we just wait to see what the production is. That's all we can do, right? DJ Moore is the number 1 receiver. We know that. Chase doesn't have the Bears asked Chase mid-season to come over and be the number 1 because Mooney was injured. Right. That was the pressure. Come over, man. Learn this system and be the number 1. With Justin Fields not really being at his best in the passing game. That was a lot to ask. So to kind of forecast the future based upon a difficult situation and how things went down, it is what it is. Yeah, it kind of, man, him catching the heat that he caught, it kind of stung, honestly, because I felt bad for him. Felt
Yeah,
bad for him because he's not disliked, man. At least by the wide receivers and Justin Fields.
he's like Juju, you know.
Yeah. Here's before we transition to this apparel deal. Josh Miller said, Shaun, did you notice in the interview that he said that the coaching camaraderie was way better this year? Marcus Freeman has he's thrown his jabs in the last 2 or 3 weeks to the situation that existed when he took over as head coach.
Right.
I think when he was asked in a recent interview whether or not he takes advice, Pete Sampson and Athletic from Jack Swarbrick, and he's like,
You're like, I don't listen to anything.
you know,
I'll take, he got some good stuff here and there, but he ain't, just schooling me now. Like,
yeah, some leadership stuff. Yeah, it's cool,
cool.
but how can you fully trust somebody that has spies in the camp? Number
Yeah,
one,
the
how
hidden
you
hand working against you.
when you have people that are head coaches of the offense, and you have the director of the scouting department, which is basically him, and he's like 80 years old, being the father of the head coach of the offense.
Yeah,
Like
it's like
that's
I have
that's
totally
what's surrounding you.
superseded you. I have
Yes,
superseded you with this thing above you that is really making some decisions that you're not influencing. And I think that's how you come in.
man.
It's like, dang, let me move, like, move over a little bit. So instantly you gonna have some issues.
Yeah, that is not how you hire somebody.
No. That's why I was like, this is the weirdest hire I've ever heard. It's like you hired him for the people, but you really hired the what you wanted in the background kind of thing. So yeah,
And
we'll give you Marcus Freeman because that's what y'all been pressuring me about. But I
Mike
really wanted Tommy.
Mike Huff, man, my boy Mike Huff just putting names to it. I was trying to just be a little vague, Mike. I didn't want the names to be out. I didn't want the names to be out there.
Yeah, crazy. But
Mike,
that's weird stuff going on.
Mike. Let's see what Indy also took away seeing TDJ from touchdown Jesus from inside the stadium with the big scoreboard and everything. Imagine seeing that image as an opposing quarterback late in the game. Uh, it was very aesthetically pleasing, I'm sure, from inside the stadium and how it connects to the end zone and the history of Notre Dame. Um, but at some point, the scoreboard was a need, and I understand, but it is what it is. You know, unless you just want to keep it like Fenway Park. Oh, excuse me, with the old school scoreboard. I don't know where that hiccup came from. That's crazy. Fighting Irish Raiders. Thank you for tapping in, man. For the first time since the 90s, I'm starting to get those Fuji vibes. Ready or not, here we come. You can't hide swagger. Yeah, it definitely gives you that vibe, Fighting Irish Raider. I agree with you. I think
We
Marcus
got the
Freeman.
vibe, but we gotta have the player.
Yeah, that's
We
true.
got the vibe.
Yes.
But I would feel like the vibe will be solidified with the player. Who's the guy that's going to be because every team got it. Every team got it.
Yeah.
And that's when you like, yeah, before the season even start, you're going far. What do you think USC fans are feeling? They're like, we got Caleb Williams. At worst, we're winning 9 games. At worst.
Yeah.
All they
Yeah.
podcast is talking about, man, we got to beat Utah. Man, we got to beat Utah this year. We got to beat them. Everybody else, they're like, we got Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
So just imagine the vibes of a Marcus Freeman with a quarterback like Caleb Williams. That's the vibes. That's the ready or not. Because it's bona fide. It's Marcus Freeman with, what's he got up his sleeve? Is it a 22? Or is it a rocket launcher?
Mm.
Or is it a grenade?
Yeah.
What he got?
Yeah.
I know it's something dangerous under the sleeve, but is it enough to kill me? Or is it enough to be like, oh yeah, that's the finisher right there.
Yeah.
John Wick.
Yeah.
USC's walking around like they John Wick right now. They waiting on them to say something. They got
In a
Caleb.
sense. In a sense.
At least they're not worried. They like, yeah, we got Alabama, and all that stuff. But from a regular season perspective, they feel pretty good going about the season. We feel pretty good. We just don't know why yet. We feel good because we got Marcus Freeman leading us. But Marcus Freeman isn't going to tackle nobody this year, and he's not going to throw no touchdowns this year. And we need those two things to happen for us to be successful.
Mm. Lucky Lucky Podcast. Let's get to it, man. It's time to talk about this apparel deal, the 3 finalists, and the direction that Notre Dame is going to go. Andrew Gilmore, you're right. It is a tough call. The Cubs went through a similar thing with Wrigley, but at that point, you're losing money if you don't make the renovations, honestly, especially with what the Ricketts went through. And the smart thing about the Ricketts is they took the same concept of Wrigleyville. You've been to Wrigleyville, Left. You know how lit Wrigleyville is. And I don't care if the Cubs are terrible.
Yeah.
You go to Wrigleyville after a game, and it's lit.
Yeah, don't even like baseball.
Man, don't even like baseball. You can find something to do and have a great time.
And they have an Irish bar over there. So all the Irish
absolutely. They have 3 now. They have 3 Irish bars over there now. They have 3. So you can go, and they took that concept and just modernized it. Made the park right outside. Made it fan friendly. Gave the kids and the mothers something to do. Even if you have to come outside the game, because all kids can't deal with 9 innings, right? They technology upgraded.
Most adults can't deal with 9 innings.
Absolutely. They upgraded the stadium. That was needed. They upgraded the suites. That's revenue. They did what they had to do to become relevant. And then the gangster part of it is they built in their own betting house. Well, they control, man, that was genius. And it's about the lunch this summer. They built in their own hotel across the street where you come in as a visitor or you come in outside. That's their money. They have a hotel. They have restaurants. That's their money that they own. They made everything a funnel to the Chicago Cubs. And it's absolutely amazing the job they did. I'm not even a Cubs fan, but I have to tip my cap and say, hey, you didn't break tradition. You just enhanced the tradition and made it more modern and made it. That's what they did. And you have to tip your cap, man. You have to tip your cap. So I'm super excited to see what Notre Dame can do.
Super excited. I mean,
Irish Burn is 84. This is also, he did say this. How do we build relevance while maintaining tradition? And it can be done.
We've always been relevant.
Yeah.
Maintaining tradition, I think, the tradition of not having a scoreboard, that's a tradition that can pass.
Mm-hmm.
The tradition of having that grass, probably a tradition that can pass. Traditions that stick around that still have relevance was like the 9 stripes. I thought that's always a cool story. 9 stripes in his zone. Facing the all that. That's cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
The tradition of not having the names on the back of the jerseys, that was a person that decided that. That wasn't a school thing. That was just a person that was like, yeah, we should do this. But, listen,
Yeah,
that's
that
not no
cat,
tradition
that
we
cat
should do.
Chan was like, dude, I'm the All American, dog.
Yeah, that's what I'm
School
like.
like the All American. You're gonna put my name on the back. And hey, that's
So
honesty.
if Marcus Freeman was making us cool after the pivot, he should put names on the back of the jersey. Bring them back. Hell, they probably sell better.
How you
Zaire
played
with the 9 in the bookstore.
you played about what? You played what? 2 games with your name on the back?
Yeah, that's to get 2 games every year,
Yeah. I remember that.
That's
jersey.
it. So I think Marcus Freeman, you want to keep making it little things now. They ain't saying NIL collectives and stuff, just little things.
Yeah.
Did the pivot. That's a good check mark.
Yeah.
Put the names on the jerseys.
Yeah. I've yet to use.
Put the name on the jersey. In the new apparel deal, the Nike stitching on the back. Come on.
Speaking of upgrades, I've yet to use the bathrooms at Notre Dame Stadium. For those of you that have been, how is it? Because this inspires that question. Doma Wap says before the Ricketts owned the Cubs, it was owned by the Tribune Company, and the facilities were left to rot. The Cubs had the absolute worst bathrooms in sports. Periods. It was still, bro. You remember the old school latrines?
Yeah, that's it.
It was just one big thing.
LSU got that.
Dude, it was the worst.
It's real.
It was the worst. And the line would be like 30 minutes long.
Yep.
But it's long latrine. It was nasty, smelled horrible. It was ridiculous, man. Okay, good. Matt Racky said the bathrooms are great now. No more troughs. I guess it was similar in Notre Dame. That trough latrine system, that's not it,
it's bro. It's a crazy concept. You just got.
I'm not trying to see you, bro. I'm not trying to see you, number one.
And there's no limit to how many people can fit at a trough.
So I have to tell this story.
Time 10, 20, however many people feel comfortable shouldered. It's crazy. It's a crazy concept.
Oh man, FedEx Stadium still has that? That's tough.
It's tough.
Oh man, that's tough. True story. Before we transition, bro, I go to New York with my wife, right? We used to hit the 40-40 club. That was like our favorite spot. My baby girl was really young. This was pre 9/11, and we were just catching $49 round trip tickets on AirTran. You remember AirTran back in the day? Before they were bought out by Southwest? Yeah. AirTran would hit at ATA. They had like $49, $59 round trip tickets the day of. You can wake up and say, hey, babe, let's go to New York. 59 round trip.
Right now.
Let's go catch the 8 o'clock. It was crazy. And we were young, newlyweds. Like, man, let's do it. We love going to New York. We love shopping. And the 40-40 club had just opened.
Jay-Z's club, yeah.
He had just opened it. I kicked it upstairs. I met Anthony Mackie before he popped.
Oh, nice. Anthony Mackie's funny. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I took my brother up there for his birthday. Met Anthony Mackie. Probably saved my brother from getting robbed and killed. That's a whole other story. Because he let some little Philly dance on him and talk about, come with me back to my house in Connecticut. I'm like, what? Crazy. You don't know this chick? What are you talking about?
Crazy.
He was mad. Crazy. He thought he had him on left. He was like, man, you hate you blocking. I'm like,
no. That don't even make sense.
You're a goofy. But anyway,
we
hit the 40-40, right? And I asked the way, I'm like, yo, where are the bathrooms? And she's like, they're upstairs. And this was a thing in New York, clubs that I didn't know. A lot of New York clubs knew unisex bathrooms. I had never seen this, Left.
Wow. Really?
And then, yes. So I'm going in this without information, Left. I just go upstairs to the bathroom and I see a girl walk through the door. And I'm like, it made me do the little Scooby-Doo lean to the side, like, huh?
Yeah, like what?
I'm like, am I supposed to go in the same door? I go in the same door. The bathroom is this circular room with frosted windows, and you can see the silhouettes. So I walk in and I'm seeing female silhouettes, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm in the wrong. Like, let me step
Yeah.
out. Like, there has to be another door on
Let
the
me
other
slide
side.
out of here.
Right. So I step out,
Really?
I walk around, and I'm like, yo, wait a minute. So I ask another service person, like, yo, I'm looking for the men's bathroom. And he was the one that was like, dude, we don't have our bathroom is unisex. I was like, oh, so this is the door. And he was like, yeah. So I'm like, now mind you, some silhouettes you don't want to see. I mean, some silhouettes you like, all right.
Not too bad.
So I
Not too
walked
bad.
around, I found an opening, I did what I had to do. Man, when I got downstairs to the table, I'm like, hey, babe, man, because I know how you are. You might want to wait until you get back to the hotel. But that was my introduction to and it was a common place in New York clubs. That was the crazy thing at that point in time, and it was so common that the wait staff didn't even think to explain to me, like, oh, by the way, they just assumed I would know. That was my introduction. Hey, that might have been one of the best bathroom introductions I ever had, though.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I came out of it like, ugh. I came out of it like, oh, word? Okay. All right. That's not bad. If you're in your 20s and you're kicking it, that's not something that's gonna turn you off.
Yeah. It's not gonna turn you off for sure.
Yeah. Lucky Lefty Podcast. We'll be right back. Nike, Adidas, Under Armour. Who has the upper hand? We'll talk about it. We're back. Lucky Lefty Podcast. Tim Priester had an interview with Jack Swarbrick. 6 months left on his job before he steps down, and Pete Vavacco takes over as the new athletic director. And some very interesting comments about renovations to the Goog and making sure those things get started before he departs. Also, the 3 finalists were revealed for the new apparel deal. We knew that Jack would sew this up before he left because this is his legacy, the TV deal and the apparel.
Yeah, this is the legacy. The money you make for the school is your legacy.
Absolutely. So the 3 finalists: Under Armour, the incumbent, Nike, and Adidas. So we're here today to just break it down for you. We're not here to decide for you. We want to give you the information that you need. But before we do that, the LL question of the day, Malik and I had a brief conversation, teased it last night. 82 games, NBA, 82 games, NHL, 17 games, NFL. One season. We're not talking about career, not bringing in CTE and all of that. We understand. Just one season. The wear and tear on the human body, which is more devastating? I'm interested in seeing.
Games is tough, man.
Bro, I've seen that the surgical data in the off season is what made me take a look at it, Left, because just the physical nature of football would automatically make you think.
I mean, 17 games, but you gotta think, okay, you might get hit in a game. If you're a receiver, let's say, you might get actually hit and tackle, like somebody's trying to hit and bring you to the ground, maybe less than 10, 11 times in the game. Now, all the other collision and contact stuff, blocking and just making sure nobody roll over your ankle and all that, all that crazy stuff, that's avoidable. That's just that's like roughhousing.
Yeah.
It's only like the certain, where you don't hit or you just cutting and stuff where you tear.
Football players are very specialized.
Yeah,
they don't play both ways. They don't play both ways.
They don't play both. But linemen, that's a little more physical. You get some headaches and shit. Yeah, but basketball, just the length, 82 games. Something bound to happen. A rolled ankle. You ain't gonna have no rolled ankle in 82 games. That's crazy.
And it's constant wear and tear on the joints,
Traveling.
the muscles, the bones, the traveling. And when I looked at the data and saw that there are more NBA surgeries in the off season, like there is no clear off season in the NBA.
Yeah, that's true.
Everybody on the roster is just about, if you play, you're getting some type of procedure done.
Hell,
Your
Zaire
muscles,
was
your
getting procedures
bones,
before he even got started.
and it's amazing, right? And
It's
I'm
crazy
sitting
because
here.
you don't see a lot of hurt basketball players in college.
You do. You know what got me to look at the data? I was watching the podcast and with Paul George, and he was interviewing Julius Randle. Julius Randle played his entire freshman year. He only went to Kentucky for a year.
Yeah, for a year.
He played his entire freshman year with a broken foot and didn't know.
Really?
He just playing through pain. Like, that's what you do. Because people think football players are the only ones that play through pain. He's like, dude, that's what you do as a basketball player. You got like a little foot ankle.
With a broken foot.
He played through a broken foot his entire freshman year and didn't find out until I think
like the NBA scouting
combine. The NBA combine, one of the teams said, yo, did you know your foot was broken? Wow. And he was like, what? Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So no, he recovers from that over the summer and walks into, because he was drafted by the Lakers, walks into camp with Byron Scott as his head coach, who is from the lineage of Pat Riley, which means
you practicing hard.
The first week we running. Wait, forget the ball. All we doing is running. So he's recovering from injury, and he's going hard and ends up with a stress fracture. Right? So he misses his rookie year, and he's just like, yo, he's sitting there after going through the playoffs in a walking boot during the podcast. And he's like, dude, you know, I finally was able to vacation with my wife because I couldn't do nothing else. Like, all I could do is, he was like, normally I get right back into it. I train, I build myself up. But he was like, dude, most of us rehab.
Yeah.
And then by the time we get through rehab and our injuries, it's time to get ready for the season. So we really don't have time. The vacation. It's just amazing. It made me look into the numbers, and the numbers for surgeries and wear and tear on the human body is pretty amazing for an 82-game NBA schedule and an 82-game NHL schedule. And tennis is right up there. Professional tennis players.
Yeah, that look hard.
And like elbows, shoulders, knees, like soccer players as well. Man, it just makes you take a look at what these professional athletes really go through. I just thought I would throw the question out there. I just thought I would throw it out there. So let me give you some information left. Out of the 64 Power 5 schools, 39 are with Nike, 11 are with Adidas, and 7 are with Under Armour. 8 others are with Jordan Brand, and there's actually a Power 5 school that rocks with New Balance. That I did not know until I started digging in with this. Nike has 50%, 52% of the market. Adidas has 29% of the market. Under Armour is at 13%, and that's down based upon some legal issues they've had and with schools leaving their partnership in the last 2 or 3 years. Jordan Brand is at 5.3%, and New Balance is at 0.8% share of the market. Now, from a conference standpoint, in the SEC, 9 schools are Nike, 2 are Adidas, 2 are Under Armour. I believe Auburn is Under Armour, if I'm not mistaken, and 1 is Jordan Brand. In the ACC, 9 are Nike, 3 are Adidas, 1 is Jordan Brand, and 1 is New Balance, because of basketball and the other baseball and the other programs that are part of the conference. If you want to throw Under Armour in there, connection to Notre Dame, you can. In the Big Ten, 7 schools are Nike. That accounts for 50% of the market. 3, which means they just gained USC. That's another Nike school. and I'm not sure who did. UCLA went back to Adidas, right?
Yeah.
So now it will be 8 and 4 teams with 22% of the market with Adidas from the Big Ten. 3 are Under Armour. I believe Maryland is Under Armour, if I'm not mistaken, in the Big Ten, and 1 is Jordan Brand. That would be Michigan. The Big 12, 7 schools are Nike. 1 is Adidas. 1 is Jordan Brand. 1 is Under Armour. In the Pac-12, this is going to change. 6 of the schools are Nike because USC has left the conference. 1 is with Adidas because UCLA has left as well. 2 are Jordan Brand and 1 is Under Armour. According to across the Power Five, this is according to Boardroom .tv, the website. Across the Power Five, Nike's strongest reign is currently in the 10-team Big 12, where the swoosh is the official apparel sponsor of 7 programs. The conference's biggest Nike team, thanks to a 15-year contract worth $145 million. I think this is Texas's contract with Nike. 15 for 145. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oklahoma, who is a Jordan brand, will be leaving to go to the SEC. Leaves Nike having, that's their biggest share. Like the Big 12 is their biggest share. Nike's weakest grip by comparison can be found in the Big 10, with 7 of the 14 schools, making this the only Power 5 conference in which the company doesn't have at least a simple majority in apparel deals. In the wake of Under Armour exiting a few Pac-12 contracts, the Big Ten now has the Power 5 strongest Under Armour representation, with 3 schools, Maryland, Northwestern, and Wisconsin. So now, Under Armour has strong representation for a smaller company within the Big Ten. We know the connection, Notre Dame and the Big Ten with NBC and the TV deal. People of Aqua connected to NBC. How does that connect to Under Armour and their connection with the Big Ten? These are all things that you have to think about when this TV deal is being done. Nike being more aggressive, wanting to give a bigger share in the Big Ten, and understanding the TV relationship, not conference relationship, that could exist if you could get Notre Dame connected to the Big Ten on that TV deal. That's just as good as having 2 schools in the conference to give you a bigger share market of that TV money and that ad money. It's a lot of big business here, man. When you really break down how Nike really does not have a simple majority, or has a simple majority in every conference except for its relationship with the Big Ten. That could go a long way in determining how Nike approaches this thing and how ultimately they might want to move, because they need to make Notre Dame feel very special in these negotiations.
That's right. That's right.
So we look at Under Armour. Under Armour sits in a place where they have a great relationship with the Big Ten, where we pointed out. That could bode well. They have a great relationship with Notre Dame. They are the incumbent. Things have not gone well legally with their brand and their contracts with football schools over the last, I would say, 2 to 3 years. The Under Armour All-Star Game has lost some of its luster, in my opinion, even though it's still on ESPN. I believe the U.S. All-American Game is once more ascending and is right there with the Under Armour. It used to be all about the Under Armour game when Under Armour first started popping.
Right.
That's lost its luster. So let's look at this. We just gave you the business background, and then Adidas, they're just solid. Adidas is just solid. They're just solid. Those are the 3 finalists from a business aspect of what they might be looking for. Adidas is just trying to get back to the same. I think Adidas understands what they lost when they gave up the apparel deal. Because they had Notre Dame. I don't think they properly handled Notre Dame. We can dig a little deeper into that. From a look standpoint, we have not seen Nike Notre Dame uniforms. But let's just talk about Adidas.
We haven't seen it before.
We haven't seen it before. Which their presentation, hey, if they come in like the presentation for Michael Jordan in Air, and they do it right, they have the right people, they could blow Notre Dame out of the water. I think aesthetically, Notre Dame players would keep it a buck with you and say they would love to see what the Nike uniforms look like.
Yes.
And that's keeping it a buck. If you're asking the young men on the team,
nobody's going to say, I want to see an Adidas uniform. Nobody says that. It's always, okay, Adidas did their thing, I'll rock it, you know. But everybody's like, yes, I want to see it. And the thing is, Nike's not going to do nothing that crazy. It's just got that check mark on it. Nike doesn't even do creative stuff anymore, you know.
I'll tell you that. We're going to get to that. Because they went crazy with Oregon, but we understand why they go crazy with Oregon. It's connected to the founder, right? Like you said, Nike has traditional powers. They have Michigan's Jordan brand, but that's Nike. That's one thing Nike can say. We're not trying to go crazy out the box. You're Notre Dame. You're all about tradition. We feel Alabama. We feel Georgia. We feel Michigan. We feel the traditional powers. We feel Penn State. We know what you need. So we're not about to come in here with all of these great colorways and combinations. We're going to keep it simple. We're going to keep it funky. And we're going to keep it fresh. Now, in my mind, that would be my pitch. Because what you don't want to do is scare Notre Dame away, making them think you're about to come in and do all this Oregon type stuff. And that's not going to fit Notre Dame.
Well, look at the NBA. The NBA been doing all type of colorways these days. So what's up with that? Is that, I mean, you know, for anybody, I would think that's if you're not going to do the NIL, you need to do some cool jerseys and stuff. Or at least, I'm telling you, if they just say, present the jerseys with the name on the back, we might just seal the deal there.
Yeah. So, Under Armour. Can I be honest with you, Love? What scares me about Under Armour, I don't trust you. You had Marcus Freeman for a full year and you failed to capitalize on him.
That's a fact.
And I don't trust that you can do enough to expand the brand to where it needs to go. I just know. I don't trust you. Great relationship. I know I could. Hey, we bought your stock and it has blessed us. We've gotten back, I think, 15 times what it was worth. Well, Notre Dame has it's been a very financially beneficial relationship. Jack Swarbrick, I believe, has family inside the company. There are ties there. That's all fine and dandy. I'm not even mad with the uniforms. I think the uniforms, especially the Shamrock series, have been pretty cool. They've been pretty cool. I get it. I just don't trust you moving forward. And I understand that they are the conservative fit for Notre Dame.
Yeah.
The way they run their company, the way they do things, United States, the owners being Christians, being conservatives, I understand all that. And I said this yesterday. Miss me with all of this stuff about Nike, its labor practices, and every company. Adidas was connected to the swastika with its founders. If you do your research, like every company has something. Like Under Armour is not perfect. I'm sure if you go look,
they are American though.
They are American. But if you go look at these legal issues, you're gonna find some stuff about Under Armour. Teams just didn't walk away from these contracts with Under Armour. You know, we want to, you know, and the biggest thing for me, I don't even want to dig into Under Armour. I don't trust your marketing department. I don't. You wasted a full year of apparel that we saw as a fan base on Marcus Freeman and didn't offer it.
That's right.
Wasted it. I don't trust you. I don't trust you to take Notre Dame into the future. I don't. I just don't. I don't trust another 10 years of you marketing Notre Dame because you haven't done anything from a marketing standpoint to push Notre Dame during the time that you had the apparel deal. All you've done is produce. That's all you've done. Your marketing team has failed, in my opinion. Even when Brian Kelly was there, you failed. Now, I don't know what type of company you are, and maybe that doesn't move or that doesn't go by, your vision and everything, and you're not that aggressive as a company. That's fine and Danny, but this is Notre Dame. We don't have time to sit back and wait.
Don't.
And you can be the most wonderful people, wonderful company. It goes back to what Marcus Freeman said when he was asked about giving minority coaches an opportunity in Notre Dame. At the end of the day, if you can't help me win, I don't care what you look like. If you can't help us win games, I'm not just about to give you a job. You have to have the ability to help us win games. Dylan McCullough helps him win games. Chancey Stuckey helps him win games. Mike Mickens helps him win games. So all of this, well, they're clean cut. Yeah, but you're not doing the job. You're not helping Notre Dame win with the culture. You're not. That's my biggest issue. That's my biggest issue. You're not helping us win with the culture. You have to be able to align yourself. Marcus Freeman just did the pivot. You see where this train is going. You see where Amir Carlisle, as director of player personnel, is taking this thing. That ain't Under Armour. It's not. I'm sorry. It's not. And like Jack Swarbrick, you might need to read the writing on the wall and say, you know what? As much as we would love to take Notre Dame into the future, we're not comfortable doing that. Back away. It's been a great relationship. Just back away. Saying, you know what? We can't do it.
You say we can't do it. That's right.
We love you, Under Armour. Everything you stand for, beautiful. Beautiful. That's fine. But you're not helping Notre Dame at this point. It's bigger than just uniforms. I don't know. I've never worn Under Armour cleats. I wore Pro Keds up until high school, and then I finally started rocking Nike cleats. So, and that was basketball and baseball. I did rock Nikes and Converses on the basketball court as a shorty from a young age. But yeah. Roger Dodger, our resident USC fan, points out UCLA lost millions of dollars with Under Armour. Millions.
Of course. Yeah. Hell yeah. It's crazy to think about.
So
but I think, we've run the gamut of Under Armour and Adidas already.
Yes.
Unless they're coming with $200 million this time instead of $100 million. Let's try something different. How about that?
How can they, though? Revenue has been down over the last 3 years. How can they?
Yeah, that's true.
They've been breaking relationships with college football teams. Like, where is this money coming from? How are they going to make this grand offer? How? Let me tell you something. Most people, who I can't wait to see every time I watch a golf tournament?
Who?
I can't wait to see what Ricky Fowler has on, bro. This cat, Ricky Fowler is the flyest guy, and he's rocking Puma. Puma.
Fly. He does make Puma look fly.
Puma makes him look fresh, and he makes Puma look fly. Puma.
Kind of sleek though now.
But this is my point. This is my point. Puma pushes the culture in golf. They break the rules. They don't give you the traditional colors. And they found someone that fits that personality. That's Marcus Freeman.
Is tough too. Puma didn't do anything.
Yes.
The
Now
Nipsey
from a
Hustle shoes.
yes,
Hard.
yes. So what I'm saying is that's Marcus Freeman.
Yeah.
That's what you have in a coach.
They had a
And-
chance.
And they had a chance. And from a production standpoint, they produced some fire hoodies.
Yeah, that's what's crazy.
That's what's crazy.
They did everything right except market it.
Except market it. And
They
that's
did
the
everything
problem.
right. They had the coach had elite fits that nobody could find, and you had
Yes.
okay, what's that? Now it's time to drop it when they start asking questions.
Yes.
Don't just make one of one and like, no, this is
Yes.
let's make a couple.
Yes.
Limited
Yes.
edition.
Yes. Ricky
Nike
Fowler makes
understands
me
that.
want to go buy an old school Puma suit every time I see him.
That's right.
Just for the heck of it. Like,
That's
let me
right.
go find a Puma outlet and go find me some Puma suedes and an old school Puma sweatsuit.
It'd be fly.
It'd be fly.
Because Ricky Fowler fly.
Absolutely. And Marcus Freeman can have that same effect in recruiting. He's fly.
Man, them
Man,
Nike
this Notre,
fits.
this Notre Dame gear is fly. These Notre Dame gloves are fly. You can see kids on the 7-on-7 circuit rocking Notre Dame gloves, rocking Notre Dame cleats. This is fly. And
Now we can take the recruiting pictures.
Yes.
Now we can take you come and take, dress up in the Nike stuff. Michigan
Yes.
went up 10 points. They went up there and put the Jordan stuff on. You got the different Jordan and all that. But Marcus Freeman with some Nike, the recruiting picture is gonna go crazy.
Man, it's fly. Notre Dame has an opportunity to become fly amongst these youngsters. Under Armour, in my opinion, they just don't have the marketing to get Notre Dame there. They just don't. And I like Under Armour, man.
I like them too.
What they stand for, but you can't help us win, man. I'm not sure you can help us win.
Unfortunately.
Adidas. I thought Adidas did a great job outfitting Notre Dame, especially the Shamrock series.
Yes, they did.
You rocked Adidas when you were at Notre Dame, left.
It's great times.
This is the thing about Adidas. It seems like the model for Adidas is to allow the person and the personalities to market Adidas rather than Adidas marketing the personalities, right? Because Adidas is Adidas. Adidas is worldwide. They dominate soccer. They dominate soccer. They dominate European sports. Their market share in the United States is super fly because they make great track suits. Man, let me tell you something. You go out to LA and drive down to Wilshire, that's all you see is Adidas track suits in the world. That's all you see. That's all. Look, bro, you can go find some fly. Yes, and some Puma. You can go find some fly. Man, I'll never forget. I forget the brother that's an actor. I was out there and my sisters wanted to go to get some shoes. So I took them to Sporty LA up there on Wilshire. And we walk in and it's one of these old school brothers. He was what was that movie where they were stealing cars with Nicolas Cage? Him and his crew. They were stealing cars.
Italian Job or something.
No. That was the gold. That was the gold. Which, by the way, shout out to that. That was a great movie. That was a great movie, The Italian Job.
Man, that's an old school.
Yeah, it was. It was a great movie. I can't believe I'm forgetting the name of this movie, man. It was Nicolas Cage.
60 Seconds.
Gone in 60 Seconds. Thank you, my brother. And the brother that was in that movie, I forget he's a great actor.
Yeah.
Veteran actor, he's a great actor. He walks in and he's looking at these suede Pumas. And I'm like, yo, I'm sitting back.
Hey, Pumas a beat.
I'm sitting back because I'm like in awe of what he's vibing to because he's already dressed fresh as hell.
Yeah.
Because you're seeing him off screen. So now you're seeing him like real life.
Yeah, like just in your clothes.
He just like fresh Adidas track suit. You know what I'm saying? With some fresh Adidas. And I'm like, yo, this is what's up. And I'm watching his choices, and I'm like, yo, man, this is dope. And I think Adidas is one of those brands.
Adidas can get Marcus Freeman fresh now.
Yes.
But some Stan
Yes.
Smiths, because they already
Yes.
green.
Woo.
Stan Smiths already green, so you get some Marcus Smiths.
Man.
Get the coach's shoes of the year.
Yeah.
With some Adidas.
Yes.
Yeah, it might go crazy.
And man, look.
They jumpsuits is fire, so you know you get the
hey, bro.
jumpsuits.
You cannot avoid them in LA. Like, everywhere you go.
But you know, this is Jack Sorbick's grand finale.
Shaun McBride. It was Del Rolando was the policeman. The Shaun McBride, that brother, he was actually part of the crew with Nicolas Cage. And just watching his choices, man, I just realized that Adidas is a super fresh brand, man. But from a marketing standpoint, they know they're such a monster that they really don't, they allow the person to lead the way, and that relationship might be beneficial if they allow Marcus Freeman to actually be the star.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you let him be this, listen, if Notre Dame allows somebody to be the face of the brand, or at least just take it on for a short period of time, just the revenue and the turnout be even greater.
Hey, Paulo, he says the team is going to come out looking like Run DMC back in the day. Let me tell you something. The tracksuits are going to be fresh. I don't even know about this. The tracksuits that Adidas would make, I have full faith that they're going to be fresh.
Yes.
Full faith. Team is going to be clean. Super clean. But it's just a different way that they market, right? And the way they market might actually fit allowing Marcus Freeman to be the face, right? Nobody, look, they allowed Kanye to market Adidas, bro. Like, okay, he's the star. Do your thing. And they let Kanye do his thing, and everything started blowing up.
Everything you thought, yeah, exactly.
Because they let him do his thing. They didn't control him. You know, they just said, hey, do your thing. And it worked until they had their differences and he started speaking out about certain stuff. But Adidas could very well be a strong partner, a strong ally. Not American made, you know, Europe, and doesn't fit Notre Dame. Like I said, they have some history, you know, that doesn't necessarily line up with something that you want to be part of the story. But they have a pre-existing relationship with Notre Dame, and they got that loot. They got that guap. Nike has that guap, but Adidas is not too far behind Nike now. When you look at it globally, and see, that's what they can tell Notre Dame. We are the global brand, the original global brand, and you are the global brand of college football. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. At this point, I really feel like it's going to come down to the marketing teams and the sales teams' ability to be able to pitch the present and the future the right way.
Exactly.
Because from an apparel standpoint, hey, like we said, Under Armour did a great job with Marcus Freeman from an apparel standpoint, production-wise. Fantastic. Last but not least, Nike. I have to think about it, Left.
Okay.
Because Nike has to come correct, bro. Because Nike, from the point of lining up with what Notre Dame wants, Nike probably is the furthest away.
Yes.
It's probably the furthest away, Left.
It's the furthest good steward of the three brands.
Absolutely. So Nike is very liberal.
Very woke. All the things going on today, that's nice.
Yes. Notre Dame is a lot more conservative.
Oh, yeah. It might just be based off of principles. We might not even go with it. Just if we go with Nike, that means Jack is like, listen, I'm just trying to make out. I don't care about the future of the program.
Yes.
We get Nike would say a lot about Notre Dame. I don't think we'll do it, but it'll look great with a Nike jersey.
Nike. Now, this is the thing. Nike has already won the locker room. You really have to take a vote.
Yes. And everybody thinks we should go to Nike at the same time. Notre Dame's like,
we're not. No. We're not talking about the fans. I'm talking about the players on the current roster.
Oh, yeah.
It's a wrap.
It's a no-brainer.
You can take a vote today with no presentation.
No presentation.
No presentation. None.
That's so true. Nike doesn't have to give us a presentation.
You can take a vote of the kids in 25 that have been offered, the kids in 24 that have been offered, the kids in 26 and 27 that haven't even been thought of. You're going to take a vote right now. Nike is going to win the vote.
Every time.
Every time amongst the players. Every time. So if it's about getting the best players to lay their eyes on Notre Dame, Nike knows it has a clear advantage.
Yes.
But Nike also knows that it has to wow Notre Dame because of that gap. No one markets better than Nike. I admit, Nike finds a way, and what they piece together,
it's
man,
true. Nobody really be marketing better than Nike.
What Nike did with Jokic, the package they had ready right after they won the championship, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Their creators, their marketing team, second to none.
Second to none?
Second to none, man.
Boy, it's nice.
And that's what you're getting. If you're Notre Dame, you are getting second to none marketing. And Nike can tell you, Adidas and Under Armour, they can't do what we can do from a marketing and sales point. They can't. They can't. We're not coming here to give you Oregon. We're coming here to give you, we have the traditional powers, the clean cut uniforms. We have those teams. This is something else that they're fighting against, because in the interview with Tim Priester, Jack Swarbrick made it clear that Notre Dame has to be at the top of the pecking order with whatever company they work with. Now, with Nike,
that's true. That's why we got to Under Armour in the first place.
With Nike, that's tough. That's
not
tough.
Gonna be because Alabama is winning
and Georgia. So that's tough. That's
we're
tough.
not going. Yeah.
However, this, remember what I talked about. Nike is motivated because this is what they need to have influence.
They'll have influence, man.
To have influence in the Big Ten. Remember, the only conference they don't have a big share is the Big Ten. The relationship to the Big Ten with the TV deal and what they can put on NBC in years to come in relation with the Big Ten in that market, Nike's motivated.
Nike does, yeah. Nike probably is.
Nike's motivated. And let me give you the key. Left. I'm telling you what I'm telling Jack Swarbrick. We are marketing your independence. You don't need anybody else. You're Notre Dame. That's it. If I'm Nike, I'm like, that's it.
That's it.
You're Notre Dame. And while the rest of college football is following suit, you're moving forward. You're standing tall. You're the Fighting Irish. You're Notre Dame. That's what we're selling. And you're going to continue to be Notre Dame. And we're going to take you into the future of Notre Dame football. That's it. That's it. Make Notre Dame feel that you are embracing who they are and their tradition, and you're going to market it to the world and future 5 stars in high school and college football. That's all they have to do. That's it. If they can connect with Notre Dame in that way, and make them feel like, okay, you're not trying to change us. You're trying to take who we are
You're not trying to change us.
and get us to the people. If Nike does that, it's a wrap. In my opinion, if Nike comes in trying to be cute, these are the colorways and all, Notre Dame is gonna be like, man,
Please.
push on with that crap. I should have been in sales, boy. I'm telling you, bro. Boy, I'd have walked in the office to Jack like, oh, this is a wrap. This is a wrap.
Deal done.
Oh man, I'm telling you. And I'm laying that check out. Blank.
Check out.
Blank. What do you want?
Nike got it now. Yeah.
What do you want? We gave Texas
Nike
15.
probably got the only money that we can probably afford.
We gave Texas 15 and 145. You want to be at the top of the list? Write your figure down on the check. Because that's how we're going to start it. You're going to be the biggest deal on our roster. You know why?
Biggest deal on Nike's roster. Oh, goodness.
You know why? You know why you have to be the biggest deal on the roster?
Well, we have to be for sure.
Because you're the only independent we'll have. Do you understand that? The only independent and the biggest brand in college football.
Well, they got BYU, so
I think wasn't BYU connected to a conference though now, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know. I thought BYU did.
Do they? Yeah. I think everyone's connected to a conference under Nike. And I'm looking at the story we just read. I don't think they have any independents. So here, look, let me give you the FBS schools. All right. This is the list of schools that Notre Dame would join if they joined Nike. Air Force, Akron, Alabama, Appalachian State, Arkansas, Arizona, Army, Ball State, Baylor, Boise State, Bowling Green, Buffalo, BYU, Charlotte, Cincinnati, Clemson, Colorado, Connecticut, Duke, Florida State, Fresno State, Georgia, Georgia Tech, Illinois, Iowa, Iowa State, Kansas State, Kentucky, Liberty, LSU, Marshall, Memphis, Michigan State, Middle Tennessee, Minnesota, Missouri, New Mexico, North Texas, Ohio State, Oklahoma State, Ole Miss, Oregon, Oregon State, Penn State, Pittsburgh, Purdue, San Diego State, SMU, Stanford, Syracuse, TCU, Texas, Temple, Tennessee, Toledo, Tulane, UCF, UNLV, USC, Utah State, UTEP, Vanderbilt, Virginia, Virginia Tech, Wake Forest, Washington State, Western Virginia, Western Kentucky. Man, the only schools you're worried about are Alabama and Georgia. That's it. If I'm Nike, I'm like, hey, yup, you trying to catch Alabama and Georgia? We're going to put you right up there. That's the Holy Trinity. That's the Nike Holy Trinity. Georgia, Bama, Notre Dame. That's it. That's the Holy Trinity. You're up there. You have precedent.
Well, Ohio State's up there too. Shit.
No. We said Holy Trinity.
Ohio State's in that Holy Trinity.
Nah, bro. Nah.
Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia's not Nike's Holy Trinity.
Not when it comes to global. Now when it comes to global. How many? Wait a minute.
Ohio State has sort of a global brand over Alabama. I know that.
Okay. You want to put Ohio State over Alabama? You know, I'm not taking
Georgia. Georgia just got on. So Ohio State.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. But
if it was a 4-leaf clover, Notre Dame's in.
Honestly, you would have to put. If we talking about tradition, you got to put USC up there too.
Oh yeah. I mean, but
we're keeping it funky because we're talking about strength of brand, tradition, football history. Alabama and Georgia. Alabama, you know, they like to add on championships from years past, all of that. Yeah. So it's Alabama, Notre Dame, USC. Clemson is a new kid on the block. They don't have the same. It's not the same, right? Ohio State.
Been there. Been doing that.
Yeah, but do they have the same national championships? They'll tell you
they got more than Georgia.
Yeah, I said I would take Georgia down.
Oh, okay.
For Ohio State. I said
they don't have more than Bama. They don't have more than
Notre Dame.
They got more than Clemson.
Yeah, Clemson's new kid on the block.
Yeah. So
it's hard because we said Trinity. So there can only be
us, Alabama, Ohio State.
Yeah, I can't put Ohio State over USC, bro.
Oh, come on.
If we talking about tradition and history, we got to keep it a buck.
Ohio
We
State
have
got
to keep
more
it
history than USC.
What?
Yes.
As far as championships?
Not as championships.
That's what that matters.
Not as championships.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Well, I mean, hold on. How many Ohio State got?
Wait. It's a reason why. It's a reason why. There's a reason why the Big Ten went out and got these dudes. Like, now stop playing.
Oh, yeah, they're traditional. Yeah, of course. SC is a college football brand.
Like, hey, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
I'm trying to be fair. I'm trying to be fair to everybody. I tripped a little bit with Georgia. I tripped
Georgia
a little bit.
I
can admit that. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you.
We're competing in the top 5 schools as Notre Dame.
Okay, let's say the top. They're telling Notre Dame. It sounds better to say you're part of the Holy Trinity. It sounds better.
Yes.
You know, you're a sales team. You can tell Notre Dame. Tell Notre Dame whatever they need to hear.
Top 3 is realistically top 5.
Yeah, tell Notre Dame whatever they need to hear.
Yeah, tell them whatever they want.
Whatever they need to hear. Okay, but for argument's sake, we're sitting here. They definitely would be one of the top 5 schools.
Yes, easily.
Easily.
It wouldn't even be. We would start at 5 at the worst.
Yeah,
at the worst. You have to find 4 better schools.
Yeah. So yeah, give me time left because my disrespect for Ohio State is real.
I mean, they got the credit now. I just don't think they're gonna beat us this year. That's all.
That's all I'm saying. But I agree. It will be Ohio State, USC, Alabama, Notre Dame, and then maybe that's when Georgia sneaks in.
Yeah, and that's just because they just got here.
Yeah. And Georgia would have to battle with Clemson, in my opinion.
Really?
Clemson can pretty much be like, hey.
Clemson got more memorable players, though.
And Clemson has done it for like a decade.
Yeah, Clemson got more. Got more guys that they had a Nike commercial for, like they did LeBron when he got the scoring title.
Yeah, absolutely. But what I'm saying is there is, even though some things that Jack Swarbrick said make us feel that it's Under Armour or Adidas, Nike has a path to making Notre Dame feel special.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that check always makes you feel special. And Notre Dame can talk about all that tradition and stuff. That blank check.
But Nike pretty stingy though. So you talking about too stingy?
Oh, 15 years, 145 million. That's not exactly stingy, bro. That's a pretty good apparel deal, bro.
But Notre Dame, this is Notre Dame. Notre Dame asking for 300, 250.
Yeah, Notre Dame getting
we asked 100 from Under Armour before we even knew if they had money.
Oh, facts. So, but see that we know the inflation in the market exists. The Texas deal was done like years ago. That was the market then.
That's what I'm saying. We're asking for 250, 350.
But the market is minimum 250 right now. Period.
Not for every school.
We talking about for Notre Dame.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, for Notre Dame,
that's the market.
And up.
That's the market. So Nike knows what's up. Nike knows what's up because they need Notre Dame.
Yes.
For what they want to do for their share in connection with the Big Ten. They need a Notre Dame relationship. Because the only stronghold that they don't have is in the Midwest in college football. They need Notre Dame. And it's better off that they can get Notre Dame as an independent. Like, I look at this as a record label from a standpoint as we get ready to get out of here. Great show today, great conversation. Look, people run from independent artists. It's less of a headache for me if I'm a record label. Oh, you want to take the responsibility for all of this? And then I can just share in the profit? Notre Dame has proven for years that it's profitable. What's the risk for Nike, Left? Show me the risk.
Nike is only getting a benefit by signing us.
No, there is no risk There is no risk for Nike here. None. They are forming a relationship with a very profitable business. They are only going to make money. So, heck, yeah, be independent. Well, man, this is going to make us lucrative and put us and position us as a company where we are if at some point Notre Dame gets pushed or put in between a rock and a hard place and they have to join a conference. Guess what Nike is saying? Huh? Well, we got our school to put into the Big Ten. We're good.
Yeah.
So look, it is a very, very nuanced set of negotiations. There are pros and cons for everybody. I don't have a problem with Under Armour. I just don't trust them from a marketing and sales standpoint. I just don't. I don't. And I don't think Marcus Freeman or Pete Bavacco are looking to stand pat and continue to do things the way they've been done. And Adidas really is a perfect fit the way they market or allow their stars to market. Yes. And that's what Marcus Freeman is. He's a star right now.
Yes.
Left called him a little bit of a Tom Cruise right now.
Yeah, I mean, this brother is everywhere.
You know, and I don't think from a production standpoint, man, we said this jokingly. Remember like 6 months ago, we did a show and we were like, boy, if we can get some Notre Dame color Yeezy slides.
Take my money.
Now, see, this is the thing. Don't think, because we're talking about culture, don't think Yeezy would not pay attention to Marcus Freeman and say, yo, I got a collab on some cleats. Now, Notre Dame might have to say, whoa, nah, dog, you've been bugging a little bit. I don't know if we want that relationship. Because you know they would. It would have to be a discussion. For you and I, from a culture standpoint, we're pretty much like, hey, man, let that man design the cleats. Like, dude, he's designing cleats. That's it. Well, we're about to sit here and analyze every designer in the world. Everybody that does something and designs something, we're about to sit here and break down their life. Man, let that dude design some cleats. Let's see. Once again, if you walk in the locker room, see, people don't like hearing this, love. If you walk because of the culture, and you don't understand the culture. If you go talk to these 24 and 25 recruits that wear his slides religiously, if they would like a collab with Yeezy and the school they're going to, they would say yes in a heartbeat. Yes. Doesn't matter your stories and all that. Doesn't matter. They don't care. You ask them, they're like, yep. Heck yeah. Let Kanye design our cleats. Shit may sell. Adidas just brought them back to ramp up production. Shit doesn't sell. Just keep watching. keep watching how this relationship gets brought back together. Because it's already happening. Man, this world is amazing. It's amazing how money makes corporations forget a lot of things, love, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? They saw those slides being sold for $500 because they thought people around the world were going to be like, man, I'm not buying his stuff. And the younger generation was like, see, people keep focusing, he's mentally unwell. The younger generation doesn't care.
Yeah, come on.
They don't care. Like, all y'all want to break down. The
president isn't mentally well. So now what does that mean?
Or physically.
Yeah,
But it's
so
like,
I mean, so clearly being mentally and physically well doesn't matter at the highest or lowest of positions.
yeah, they don't care, right? Like I have my ideas about him. My daughter just asked me for another pair of
Yeah,
slides.
for sure. I'm aware of
She don't, man, she don't care about all that stuff. This is fresh.
Now,
And this is
are you separating the music from the artist, or is it the same thing too?
what do you mean?
Do
Because
you
now we're about to delve into something that's real. This is about to get deep. And we're gonna get to the petty train because I have two people on the petty train today. But
Yeah, I
go
got
ahead.
a petty trade person too. It's the same thing. Like I think Notre Dame, I think is an identity thing. Coinciding with Nike means you agree with what Nike's doing.
That's good talk, Matt. I just wanted to put that on the screen. That's
Yes,
well said,
yeah,
Matt.
yeah.
Well
We've
said.
already tried both of the schools. It's
Mhm.
like a rock and a hard place.
Yeah.
Notre Dame will be giving up a lot of its ideals and ideologies, joining with Nike. And if anything, good
Would
stewardship.
they though? But see, that's the thing. Nike has to make Notre Dame feel like they're not.
That's true.
Because that's how Notre Dame coming to the meeting. That's what would worry Notre Dame.
Yes, that's all because we would have been Nike last deal. You think we would have went over the Under Armour over Nike last time?
Yeah.
No, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Under Armour dropped 100 million, and they said we Under Armour, we American, we Catholic too, whatever.
Absolutely.
And boom,
Yeah.
that was an easy sale back then. Now Under Armour's going down the toilet. Adidas, we already tried them. Nike's like, yoo-hoo. Got an open check,
Man, look.
swag, unlimited. You just gonna have to put a pride flag on the field. That's all.
Man, look.
Notre
I'm
Dame
gonna tell you this. I will forever look, because art is one thing, left. Because we can take this a lot of different ways. I do not support anything that is done or said that is harmful to another human being. That's just being a human being. Anything done or said to harm another human being, I'm not with it. I'm not. I recognize that Kanye has jumped into some conversations and probably done some things like, yo, that's not cool. It's not cool, yay. I don't rock with that. But I'm not a cancel culture dude. I don't cancel people. That's the worst thing. I'm a dude that's gonna bring you closer to me before I cancel you. I'm a dude that's gonna pray more for you before I cancel you. Because the last I checked, all have sinned and fallen short. I can't throw rocks in a glass house, bro. I can't point out your flaws and be unwilling to expose mine. Public figure or not. That's just the way I look at things. So the dude that brought pride to me from a cultural standpoint, a awareness standpoint, a musical standpoint, an art standpoint in this city and made Chicago feel relevant in the hip hop space. There's no way I would ever turn my back on him and cancel him. Just like the same thing that I feel like other people have done. Do I agree? Heck no. You can't separate the genius that is to his detriment is the same genius by which he created what he created, left. You can't separate it. And that's what people have to understand. Genius has two sides to it, man. And genius has to be balanced. You have to be able to balance it. And the same genius that gave him the greatness, that allowed him to speak certain things at certain times that you stood back and said, yes, I've been wanting to say that. I wish I could have said that. His willingness to be bold and brave when it turns and it goes the other way, and now all of a sudden everybody wants to run without understanding, like, man, that's part of the package, man. You don't have to like them. You don't have to like what he does, but that dude, hey, he's from Chicago, bro. That dude's from Chicago, and he reps us. And what he did for Twister, Common, Crucial Comp, the doors he opened, and the doors that were open for him, and the respect that the OGs have for him, they don't like some of the things he said. You know, Common is still right there with him, bro. Common has not said one word publicly. You know what Common does? He hits him up personally, bro. See, people like John Legend, I don't care about you because you're not from the mud.
Wait a minute, John Legend from Springfield, Ohio. Now,
No, he's not from the mud.
wait a minute.
No, listen to me. No. The mud in Springfield. The mud in Springfield ain't the mud in Chicago. He ain't from my mud.
Okay, that's fair.
So I don't expect him to rock with Kanye the same way.
Oh, yeah.
I don't expect that. I'm not disrespecting him and his journey. He's just not from this mud. See, it hits different in this mud. Because cats that Rhyme Fest, GLC, Common, cats ain't saying nothing publicly. They go get on that dude. They pull up like, yo, what's up? Because that's how you do it. You know, that's all I'm saying. I'm not mad. I'm not absolving him of anything. Because he's been involved with some straight foolishness as far as comments and actions. Man, somebody needs to tell that dude, man, stop wearing that muscle shirt, man. Look. but left, this is the crazy thing. Now you're starting to see people rocking that stuff. Like his genius, bro, is just like he can take stuff that is like ridiculous, and all of a sudden it becomes a trend, bro. And you're asking yourself, why? Why do people love this? This is dumb. Kanye ain't been working out. Why is this dude walking? Why is this dude in the middle of LA walking barefoot left? What is going on? It's weird, man. It's weird. So it's nuanced for me because I come from the same mud. I come from the same mud. So I'm not going to react like some others might react. And I'm not going to overreact like some might overreact. Like I'm very, man, my wife is in the medical field. I'm very well aware of what's going on with him from a medical standpoint. Hey, we could have told you that he was weird back in 2000 before he broke in Chicago. We knew Kanye when he was going around to the clubs, carrying crates, getting in the back door. We knew Kanye. I was in the party scene at that point in time. We knew who this little dude was. And we didn't respect his rhymes back then. It was like, okay, that's cute. That's cute. That's some cute little stuff. But I respect your hustle, young. We respect your hustle. You grinded. We knew who he was, bro. So we had so much respect for the work because he hasn't changed. Like he was that type of dude. You're like, that was all right. This dude up in your face, like, man, that's fresh. I don't know what you're talking about. That bar was fresh. And we like, fam, what are you talking? That was trash. I'm trying to be nice by saying it was all right. And now you sit up here acting like it. These are the battles. These are the battles that he went through.
Yeah, I was trying to be nice to you.
Exactly. We were trying to be nice in the culture, bro. Like, that was all right. Hey, all right, little fella, that was all right. Oh, that was fresh. What you talking about? That was over y'all head. What are you talking about? Your bars are whack right now, bro. We trying to be nice because you're from the mud and you sit up here trying to come at us and tell us what is and what's not. It was like that. He's never changed, bro. He's always, man, I don't care what anybody says. You can't tell me nothing. I'm going against the grain. That is who he is. And look, what you're getting from him at all times is him. It might be a little trouble. It might be a little medicated. It might be over medicated, but it's him. There are no lies. That's him. That's him 100%. Now, if you can get a balanced version of him, right now, you got imbalance and a whole bunch of other stuff, bro.
A whole bunch of other stuff.
So, but it's him at the core. Like who he was as that teenager. We had like, yo, calm your tail down. Calm, like John Manop. John Manop graduated with my wife, bro. I was dating her and knew John Manop at Whitney Young High School in Chicago. Before he started doing parties, he was little skinny John, bro. That thought he was fly. He was John, bro.
From the
he was John from Whitney Young, little skinny head, but always was able to get the females to come with him to kick it. He was always able to get people to come together. Yeah. Nobody thought he was going to end up being this big time manager, party promoter. After he left high school, nobody thought that, man.
Nobody knew that.
Nobody knew it. But I'm here in the midst as I'm dating my wife, like around all of these dudes.
So you really know all of it for real?
No, I knew. That's why we laugh. When Kanye dropped that first, Ralph Lauren was born before I wore him. Fam, Chicago's been rocking. Like, what are you talking about? That's the type of stuff we said, like, bro, come on, man.
Oh, okay, so he was capping on some of that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, stop now.
I was right there.
Like, come on, man. Stop it. Maybe you changed it a little bit because you popped the collar and wore it up instead of down. But you go to any high school in Chicago in the 80s and 90s, Ralph Lauren was popping, bro. Yeah. And Jabos. Stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
He didn't bring that back.
So maybe he was saying it was just kind of like the thing, and he made it popping when he started wearing it the way he wore it. Maybe that's what he meant. It was just Chicago's thing that nobody really paid attention to. It was boring. And now that he's wearing, Ralph Lauren was boring before I wore him. Maybe that's what he was talking about, but it is what it is, bro. Look. And I see the comment, Kanye really from Atlanta, all that stuff. And we gonna go, but then if that's the case, Ludacris is from Chicago. He ain't from Atlanta. Like, I can't stand, like, people, Candace Parker from St. Louis. She ain't really from Chicago. Man, look.
Interesting.
Who made you? Chicago made him.
That's fair.
And he'll tell you out of his own mouth he's from Chicago. I'm not getting into these semantics.
I'm about to get into this back and forth.
All these semantics. Chicago made him. Kevin Garnett tells you I'm from South Carolina, but that 1 year I spent in Chicago, that's who I am. That made me. Chicago made him. And he'll tell you he's from Chicago. Period. If we're going to do that, then please let me claim Ludacris. Bring him back because he's definitely from Chicago. There's a whole bunch of people. Kendrick was born in Chicago. Did you know that? He didn't even go to LA until he was like 4 or 5. So can we claim Kendrick?
Uh-oh. You gonna start something, Shaun.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. We get into semantics now.
Yeah, don't get into semantics.
That's all I'm saying. Like Lilo said, he left Atlanta when he was 3. Kendrick left Chicago when he was 4 or 5. So can we claim Kendrick? Yes, Big U is from Chicago. Like all these are semantics, bro. I got a list of cats that's from Chicago, bro.
Yeah.
I got a list.
If you really want to talk about it.
If you want to talk about it, I'll bring out the list of cats that's from Chicago. But other cities made them, man. Other cities made them, man. Hey, this is a great show. That was a great question, Left. That really was. I'm glad you went down that road, man.
That's right.
I'm glad you went down that road. That's why I think Nike has a chance. It's redemption for everybody. I know about the practices and everything. And look, Nike has a chance to do right by Notre Dame. They just do. But I wouldn't be mad at Adidas. Because honestly, Adidas is the best fit for Marcus Freeman.
Yes.
And how they market.
Yes.
Flat out. They are. They are the best fit for Marcus Freeman and allowing their stars to market. You know what time it is.
Petticoat, petticoat, Petticoat Junction.
It's time to get petty
We did a good job executing.
Are you upset with something?
and fire up the Petticoat Junction train.
I just don't like you.
You don't?
No.
What is today's petty historic Petty Junction?
Petty Junction, Petty Story today, brought to you by Onora Whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com, that premium American whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. Before we get to the Petty Train, man, because I have video, like Doma Wop, look, I flat out have said multiple times that I don't agree with what Kanye has said and done. So I don't have to apologize for him. But yet still, I'm not changing my connection to him. And my connection to people changes because I don't agree with what they say. It's a lot of people in my life, all creeds and colors, that say ignorant stuff and have said ignorant stuff. And I still consider them people I rock with. Because I don't know what's going on and why they said it. Maybe it makes sense to them. There's some people in that same nationality that have said some things that I don't agree with, politically, financially. If we really want to dig into that, we can dig into the music game and clearly talk about that group and how they have pillaged from the African American culture with bad business over and over again. I mean, that's why I say I don't like getting into these conversations, man, because I'm a human being, bro. I don't care about that. Everybody makes mistakes. Everyone has said, I've said some ignorant things in my life. Some things that my wife has said, yo, I don't know if you should have said that way. So, I'm not upset. I just want to point out, I don't care what the young man has said. He has the ability to repent and get right just like anybody else. And that's not for us to hold that over his head if he chooses to do so. That's it. He's a human being just like me because I've had to get right in certain instances. And that's it. That's it, man. So you don't have to like him. And I understand why you would feel the way you feel in that instance. Like I said, that's not my connection. That's a blind spot to me in this situation because I'm not directly connected to that as you may be. So I vehemently agree with how you see that and how you feel. Vehemently agree with that. He was way out of order. That's like the fourth time I said he was out of order when he said
yeah.
I don't know how many times I have to say he was out of order. So, we are properly representing light love as we always do on the Lucky Lefty podcast, man.
That's right. I had Brandon Miller on the Petty Train.
What up? What it be? Oh, go ahead.
Talking about Paul George is your GOAT? Really? I mean, it's one thing. See, this is what I don't like. And this is where all this LeBron hate comes from me. It's like, okay, you don't have to say LeBron is the GOAT. Okay, cool. He don't have to be, but don't compare and then say some crazy other name, Paul George.
Yeah.
Just be like, look, I like Paul George a lot. And you don't have to speak on LeBron not being something. See, that's gonna be so crazy to me. If you don't like LeBron James and you don't think he's a GOAT, fine.
Mm-hmm.
But don't try to circle back and be like, yeah, Paul George is that guy. Like, oh, he's so much. See, then I gotta think you shouldn't be picked second in the league.
Right.
Because now I think you don't know what you're talking about. And you don't know basketball. So that's oh man, why is everybody so obsessed with my dog LeBron?
Yeah.
Okay, like leave it. Okay, if you don't like him, cool. Not everybody likes him. Don't talk about he not the GOAT for Paul George. That's just insane.
Right. I agree, man. When I saw that, because he was talking about, I think the line of questioning was like, what was it like to sit down with Michael Jordan and have him interview you,
Yeah,
during the draft process? And he's like, yeah, they asked about LeBron. Like, I don't think LeBron is a GOAT. So I'm thinking like, oh, okay, then he's a Mike dude.
yeah.
And my man was like,
Michael Jordan's probably like, man, I'm not drafting this crazy. What are you talking about?
he just lost. Yeah, Charlotte just backed off.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I thought, okay, not me, maybe LeBron, whatever.
Yo, you know what?
Paul George.
Mike walked into the room and said, we trading the pick.
Yeah.
Trade the pick to New Orleans. Go get Zion. Go get Zion right now. We trading the pick.
Yeah,
Let's
we'll
go
get
get him.
Zion. We ain't about to be dealing with this dude. He don't even know what he's talking about. Like, good grief.
Oh, Paul George.
Oh, George. The guy who hasn't played, who's about to be moved from the Clippers.
I was just about to say the stories broke this morning that he's on the trade block, left.
Because he ain't played.
Yo, that's pretty amazing. The fact that he's on the trade block.
When you said the injuries happen more in the NBA, I get that. But man, some of these dudes ain't played in years.
Yeah. No, Domowop, there's no problem. I think like we said the comments were inappropriate 4 times. I don't know how many times you want us to be sensitive to what he said. Like we going above and beyond to be sensitive to what he said. There's only so much we're gonna do though. We're not gonna overdo it. We said it 4 times. I've said it 4 times personally during the conversation.
Say it again. Say it 5, 6 times, 7 times.
Bro, he was out of line. Like you can't, man. And this is bro.
Just say it again.
This is what I'm talking about, man. At some point, as a human being, you got to let go. I don't care how harmful the comments are. I don't care how harmful the comments are, bro. Like we are not the divine. You don't get to hold that over people's heads for life, man. You just don't. If you don't rock with them, don't rock with them and keep it moving. That's fine. You're well within your reason. Well within your reason. But other than that, man, I gave my thoughts on it. I don't agree. That's it.
Apologize again, bro. Just keep going.
Man, make it 7. Use the perfect number. Just bring it to perfection. Like, man, he was out of line. It's like, man, and I think that is a human defect, bro. That's a human defect. Let me keep it funky. Because we all are going to face events or words a lot of times from the people closest to us that hurt. I'm talking about things said by family members, aunts, uncles that hurt when you're like a small child that stay with you for years and fester and really affect you. Like, this is real life, man. So we're talking about a celebrity saying something, and I'm not trying to diminish it because his power makes it worse and his celebrity makes it worse. And I'm sure injuring 2 people that actually have people that went through it, I can't even speak to that pain. And I'm not about to try to speak to that pain. I'm really not. Because I would be ineffective. So I'm not about to fake the funk on that at all. But we have this defect in us as humans, is that when healing comes, because there's a reason when you injure somewhere in your body, the blood immediately rushes to that place. And even though you look at it as restriction, it is the beginning and identification that is a weak spot that needs to be covered and healed. It is literally the beginning of your body saying, we're starting a process to protect this area so it can be healed. And I believe that happens in life, man. The moment something hurts you, yo, the process to heal can begin just as quick if you allow it to
You
happen.
gotta allow it, yeah.
If you allow it to happen. Now, if you want to jump up on that swollen ankle and go hoop some more, it's never going to heal. But if you take time to just really be a human, man, and just, man, healing will take place, bro. You can be healed from those things that have been said and done to you. And that's my encouragement to everybody, man. Just taking a step outside of the whole Kanye thing, man. It might be devastating, but you can be healed from that. And in that healing, guess what you'll find? You'll find the strength to actually forgive the person, the individuals, or the thing that happened and set them free. And that's a fact. I speak from experience. Off-road. So this was from last night. I actually was watching this live. It was a great comeback by the White Sox. They still stink. Texas Rangers, first place in the AL West in town. It is the bottom of the eighth. They make this great comeback. Zach Remillard singles. Elvis Andrews, a former Ranger, comes around third. He's dead to rights. Great throw by the left field. He's dead to rights. You know, we go into the top of the ninth, tied at 6. You know, the White Sox challenge. And I'm like, no, what are y'all challenging? He's clearly out.
Yeah.
So there's a rule in Major League Baseball to stop collisions between runners and catchers, supposedly to protect both of them, that you can't block the line and the runner has to have a clear path.
So how you supposed
to the base?
He's supposed to get
Bro, I watched this 10 times. This catcher didn't block his path. He had a clear path to the base. He was out.
The
Bruce
dude,
Bochy,
Bochy was like, what kind of call is that?
bro,
He said,
it
what are you
dude
calling that?
put this entire you have review to get it right, bro. You have review to get it right, not to interpret. You just have it to get it right, man.
Yeah, you got to get it right.
And when you take this long and get it wrong and fail horribly, and look, I'll take the win because we can't get many of them right now. So I'll take it how we can get it. Left, this was flat out awful. I felt bad for the Rangers.
Yeah,
as a White Sox fan, I'm like, man, we don't deserve this. We don't. Get these dudes the game. And Jonah Heim, the catcher, who's having a fabulous season, man, spent, his journey to the majors, spent 6-7 years in minor leagues, something like 3 or 4 years in single A before he even made it up. Man, just crazy. He's a start. And now he's playing like all-star caliber catcher. Wouldn't you know it? Who made the last out of the game? Jonah Heim. I felt even worse for the young man. Like, oh my God, you got to come up in the 9th inning and you make the final out of the game. I said, put everybody, Major League Baseball, everybody that's back there in the review center, the umpires, everybody. Petty train, man. That was ridiculous. And it's a joke. That was the White Sox broadcast, bro. The White Sox broadcast was like, he's out. The entire time. They were like, yeah, he's out. Yeah,
he's out.
He's out.
Those are the type of fans that keep it real. He's like,
bro,
he lost it. He's out.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, he's out. He's out. There's nothing going to happen.
The whole team.
Dude, they announced that. You can see Pedro Grafal is like, word? For real? The challenge works? Man, yo, watching it live was funny. Because watching it live, I'm sitting there like, man, why are they wasting so much time? Like, what?
Yeah.
What? Bro, it's the worst. It was the worst. And next on the petty train, my man Grant Carton, man, from the Carton Show. Dude.
He throws 100.
Right, and he gonna hit you back.
Softball. That's right. I play softball. That's right. And when I have to drill a guy, I throw it
baseball
hard
hurts
underhand.
when they're throwing it
softball.
At 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, look, he's a great player. We know he's a great player.
The best player in all of sports? Right now?
Best individual player in all of sports? Not if he's never taken his team to a postseason, can't be. At some point, if you are the best individual in a team sport, you got to take your team to the postseason.
He's really close.
I'm not even saying you got to win it all. But you got to get to a postseason.
He's really close. They have not gone to the postseason.
Close?
Well, no, they're in second place right now. He leads his team in every single category, both on the mound
So do I.
and at the
It doesn't
plate.
mean anything.
What?
That's
I don't know. I don't see Greggy's name anywhere on this.
You know,
So do you and what?
when I contemplate my softball career, I consider myself
You lead the
the Shohei
softball
Ohtani.
team in every category?
You know, the problem is now I can't see the ball so good. That's a problem for me.
But the ball doesn't move that fast.
Oh, it does for me. Yeah, but
that's
when you see
unfortunate.
3 balls, you don't know which one to go after.
And softball.
And yes, it's softball, yes. I had a tough time seeing the ball on Saturday. In any event, here's the news, the breaking news. Ohtani's really good at baseball.
Yes, he is.
Great. Awesome.
Great.
Yeah, wake me when he makes the postseason. Okay.
Man, look, get this dude
That's
off TV.
crazy.
Get this dude off TV.
That's crazy.
And get
That's crazy.
the second straight year this dude is about the league, Major League Baseball, ERA, and home runs. No one else is doing this. Once in a
Every
lifetime
category.
player. Once in a lifetime player. This dude is talking about, man, the Angels weren't making the playoffs before Shohei got there. They weren't making the playoffs with Mike Trout. See, can I tell you what the problem with the Angels? The Angels have an identity crisis, and it's tough. You know how LA is, Left. LA can mess up a lot of people when it comes to identity crisis. Like, a lot of people go get lost in LA. So when you're caught in between the Dodgers and trying to get people to come to your games, but you got money because you're connected to the Mickey Mouse right down the road. You got plenty of money. You just don't know how to build. See, because you got Mike Trout, who was the best player in baseball, and you know what you did? You went and spent a bunch of millions of dollars on offense. And you had the worst pitching staff for 3 consecutive seasons with Mike Trout. And then you sit up here talking about why didn't they make the playoffs?
He can't defend nothing.
Dude, we got the worst pitching in baseball for 3 years with all of these bats. We go get Anthony Rendon and spend $300 million on him because he's fresh off a World Series, and we have no arms, none. And all the young arms we have, we're trading them because we're so stuck on trying to make the playoffs. Look, you cannot rush. In baseball is one sport where you cannot rush things, bro. If you tearing it down, that's 5 years, bro.
Damn.
It is what it is.
It's 5 years.
This is not the NBA, bro. This is not. You darn right I will wear an Ohtani jersey. You darn right.
So Ohtani killing it right now. I haven't been tapped in.
Man, as big as a baseball fan I am, I would rock. Let me tell you. I'll tell you the jerseys to buy me. Here's the list. LL Nation, No Name fans. If you want to buy me a baseball jersey, size 56, 54, 56. Ohtani, Acuna Jr.
Okay.
Okay. Soto from the Padres.
Soto's good. I know Soto. Soto's good.
Tim Anderson would have been on that.
Till he start fouling out.
I gotta hold off.
Gotta hold on.
Gotta hold off on Timmy for a minute, man. It definitely would. Mookie Betts, definitely.
That's for sure. I like Mookie.
Definitely. Freddie Freeman, cop that.
Okay.
Huge Freddie Freeman fan. Okay. I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody. Oh, my boy from Minnesota. He's always hurt. the center fielder. What is his name? Number 25. Love that dude.
Yeah.
Love that dude. He's a G. And both of the cruises, the one in Pittsburgh and the one in Cincinnati. Both of them.
They nice.
And that Julio Rodriguez. But the Julio Rodriguez has to be the retro Mariners.
No, the Mariners got the best color.
Yeah, give me that retro Mariners Julio Rodriguez. Oh, yeah, that's a long list of players that I would rock.
But Otani,
that Otani is top of the list, bro. That Otani is top of the list, man.
They said, what
that
about
Otani's
Aaron
top
Judge?
of the
Did you
list.
get an Aaron Judge jersey?
Oh, I forgot to. Man, you know what? As a White Sox fan, that whole Yankees, I don't know. I don't know if I can let a Yankees jersey touch my back. Now that's more about the team. That's a rival. That's more about the team, man.
He said I can't.
Yes.
I can't put it on my back now.
You know what I'm saying? If Aaron Judge had chosen to go to San Francisco in free agency this offseason, I'm gonna rock that Giants jersey with the quickness. But I don't know. I've never put a Yankees jersey on my back, bro.
Can't do that.
I never even. I couldn't even do a Derek Jeter jersey, and I love Derek Jeter.
Can't do Derek.
That Yankees jersey, I just can't do it, man. Right? Like that's a bunch of Cubs players I've loved. I just can't. I can't put that Cubs jersey on my back. Can't do it, man. No, I can't do it. I saw somebody, Jordan Walker from the Cardinals. He hasn't grabbed me yet. He hasn't grabbed me yet. He hasn't grabbed me yet. Pujols.
Pujols jersey.
Yeah, a retro Pujols jersey. I can see myself rocking that. But see, I go deeper than that. Because my respect, you can give me like a old school. Because I love this squad from St. Louis. You can give me a Terry Pendleton, a Vince Coleman, a Ozzie Smith. Heck, I'll take a Tommy Hurd, a Willie McGee, St. Louis jersey. Man, that St. Louis squad from back in the day, man, you talk. They literally built the team to play on AstroTurf, bro.
Yeah.
These dudes would hit the ball into the ground and just run.
Just
on purpose. We're going to hit hot choppers on the infield and just run. You can't throw us out, bro. Vince Coleman was stealing 100 bases a year.
A year. Damn.
Him and Ricky. It was him and Ricky Henderson, boy. One in the American League, one in the National League, bro. This was the first time you would watch. No kidding. You would watch baseball to watch this dude get on first base.
Because it was fast.
Just man, this dude is about to steal second, and he's gonna steal third.
And they know it's coming.
And there's nothing you can do. The most stolen bases now for a season, you might get somebody with 50.
Yeah, that's working hard.
This man was stealing 120 bases in consecutive years, bro.
That's time. Like, what is that? Just pure speed, or is it just you just?
Well, first of all, I mean, there's an art to it without getting too deep. But you can run, bro. Like Ricky Henderson could flat out run. He just run, you know. And the majority of pitchers are slow to the plate. They just are. You know, it takes a really athletic pitcher to have a good move to first and be quick to the plate. And that's just a rare breed. Because I don't think, if I put a percentage on it, I would say 20% of pitchers are like good athletes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, because they be tall, lanky power shooters.
Well, you know, they're athletic in the way they need to be athletic to throw the ball 100 miles per hour. But as far as like movement, quickness, and not having to use all that wind up to get all of that power, they can do it compact. That's a rare breed. That's a rare breed. Man, great show. Love everybody, man. Thank you guys for the way you continue to support us. Don't forget Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Hit that thumbs up. Helps with the views. Apple Podcast, Spotify, audio edibles each and every day on CFB Nation, man. Hey, I'm trying to tell you, man. Vince Coleman or Ricky Henderson in a race. Ooh, that's a good one. It depends on if it's a 60, give me Vince Coleman. If it's 100, give me Ricky. Because Ricky's legs were like, dude, this dude's thighs and man.
He's moving.
Yeah, his power would take over in the 100. But that quickness is in a 60, I would take Vince. I would take Vince.
Yeah.
Man, look. Yeah, we covered everything. So draft tomorrow.
Yep.
We'll talk a little bit about that. Hopefully, I'm happy tomorrow night, and Zach LaVine will no longer be on this roster. That would be the greatest thing in the world for me. I don't mind rebuilding. And everybody have a great Wednesday. And Left opened up that whole rabbit hole on Kanye. I should have known.
Should have known.
But hey, can't throw the baby out with the bathwater, man. You just can't, man. You just can't. So, hope you guys have a great Wednesday. Enjoy yourselves. Yes, we know Notre Dame got a new commit in the middle of the show. Safety. We'll talk about it tomorrow. We did the film breakdown, so I'll post the film breakdown on YouTube later tonight of what Left had to say about him. And what we're going to do, we're going to dig into the new hire, the director of scouting, and why it's important for recruiting on tomorrow's show. And hopefully building out the rest of the staff will help aid and assist the rest of the coaching staff like it does. Because if you think Georgia and Alabama and Clemson have like every coach on the staff is like a fabulous recruiter, you're sadly mistaken. It's a reason why there's a support staff. I think Alabama's up to 70 people now in their scouting department. Georgia's probably just as big. Yeah, because certain coaches need a little bit of help in identifying. So we're going to talk about why this move is huge for Notre Dame moving forward, especially if they build it out the right way. Left, I'm Shaun Davis. Oh, man. Have a great Wednesday, man. But most of all, you got to make sure that you spend it different.